Well, hello everybody! How are my children doing? I missed you, everybody. Good to see you. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back, everybody, to your favorite show on the internet, Raw Law Without a Filter, with your favorite host, the one and only. Give me a D. That's really all you need. Give me a U. Give me an I. What does that spell? DUI guy plus in the hizzy. And in this corner, we have coming in at 160 pounds. Coming in at 160 pounds, redder than a tomato, ready to rumble, Adam Lally. Boo, boo, get a new prosecutor. Boo. And in this corner, weighing in 187 pounds, known as the jackhammer of witnesses, the crusher of evidence, the destroyer of worlds, Alan Jackhammer Jackson. Good morning, everybody. I hope you all are having a wonderful morning. As you can see, I am very, very depressed and sad and miserable this morning. I hope you are too. I am ready to dive into day number 21 of the Karen Reed. I can't even call it the Karen Reed murder trial anymore. It's the John O'Keefe murder trial and Karen Reed being thrown under the bus. What do you call that? This is the McAlbert's murder trial. This is straight up the McAlbert's murder trial. It is not Karen Reed anymore. By the way, I made a typo last night. I wrote that this is day 20 on accident, and NBC 10 also wrote it as day 20. Today's actually day 21. Today's actually day 21. The McAlbert's cover-up murder trial. I like that better because I don't want to say it is still Commonwealth versus Karen Reed, obviously, but it's the McAlbert's cover-up murder trial is what it is. Is exactly right. And this is my only fan. I'm just gonna hide it for now so it doesn't. I know it gives a lot of people a headache, including myself, by the way. It's been giving me a headache as well. Yeah, we continue with the direct examination of Trooper Yuri Bukhenik, of course, also known as Bukaki. And it's funny because Turtle Boy has been calling Bukaki for so long. One of the witnesses, I think, was it Julie Albert? I think Julie Albert called him Yuri Bukaki from the witness stand. The Canton cover-up, right? That's the official title for it. The Canton cover-up. The fan is the real hero. The Canton cover-up. Let's continue with the Canton cover-up trial today, folks. I hope you all had some good sleep. I hope you all got some good rest. We're only going until noon today. Sad face. But hey, you know what? Less time for Lally to torture us. And hopefully he moves through the testimony faster than yesterday, because yesterday was just, I was ready. I had so many things on my plate. So many things on my plate, folks. I was literally juggling like 5 items, including the stream, of course. The stream was one of those items, but like I just had so much stuff that I had to deal with. And but it's okay. Do I think we see Cross today? I think we should get a taste of it at least. Otherwise, well, let's see. So there's no court tomorrow, which thank goodness, because Chandler and I are flying tonight to our secret adventure. And is my guy coming back to work? No. No, he's officially out. He's officially out. He last night he came back. So he came back at like 4 p.m., like 3:30. He was gone 4 hours. He was gone half of the workday. And I asked him, I was like, why did you leave? And he's like, I just needed a moment. A moment? A 4 hour moment? Dude, you're 24. I don't know. People said, welcome to Gen Z and the lack of accountability. I don't want to generalize. You know, one of my ex-girlfriends is a Gen Zer. She was very responsible. She was like right on the cusp. She was like the millennial Gen Z right when it turned. Born in 97.
What is now open in the city?
Could I see counsel at sidebar about a couple of things, please?
I don't know what happened with him. But you know what? I'll replace him. I'll replace him. It's really sad too, because he had like an excellent resume. Oh, wait, court's in session. Why is there no sound though? There's no sound. Oh, it's a sidebar. Thank you. Fraud, it says, brother, can you please send me the name or at least a sample of your coffee brand, please? Okay. True story, folks. Here's a little true story time. My stomach. Oh, by the way, do you like my shirt today? I think it matches the. I think it matches the. I got it in New Orleans. Does it say New Orleans? I think it says it on the back. No, I got it in New Orleans though. Sorry, girls, I'm gay. Because people were like making fun of me yesterday, so you gotta own it. You gotta own up to it. The glare is still in there, right? He's still sitting in the courtroom. There's Kelly. There's Kelly right there. She helped get me in next Thursday, so I'll be in court a week from today, on the 13th. everybody like there's a lot of haters and trolls on Twitter, and they're like, your girlfriend is nothing but a beard. For those of you who don't know what a beard is, it's basically like a cover, you know, like you get a like gay guys will get a girlfriend so people don't think that they're gay and stuff. It's hilarious to me. Like I rather than run from it, I just lean into it because I think it's the funniest thing in the world. But yeah, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. I got so distracted about my awesome t-shirt. Dude, do not wear that in public or the guys be after you like Chloe on John O'Keefe. Coffee. Oh, my belly. Thank you. So yeah, like true story, folks. True story. This stomach like brews its own coffee. Like I make my own. I'm not even joking. I ask Chandler. Not right now. She's still sleeping. But she even said from the other room, she's like, no, it's true. I like the minute my eyes open, like I'm sleeping, I'm in deepest sleep, right? Like, alarm rings, eyes open, I'm like, oh, good morning, hello. Like, I don't know. I just scared my cat. She ran out of the room. I brew my own. I don't know what it is. I have this natural burst of energy. I also have a lot of acidity in my stomach. Like my stomach is super acidic. Again, my girlfriend will confirm this. Just this morning, I don't know if you guys ever do this. For those of you who do have like acid reflux and stuff, You take baking soda. Listen very closely. This may change your life. You take baking soda. You take about a half of a teaspoon because it gets a little bitter. Baking soda, straight up, just pure carbon. I think, right? It's I forgot the molecular structure of it. I always sodium bicarbonate. There we go. Sodium bicarbonate. That's all it is. It's pure sodium bicarbonate. It's chalk basically, right? Sodium bicarbonate. You put it in a cup. You heat up the kettle just enough to where it's warm. It's not boiling. Okay, it's warm, but it's not cold. It's like room temperature, maybe slightly above room temperature. You pour it over the soda, the baking soda. You mix it up. That's all it. You get sodium bicarbonate and 2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen molecule, H2O. That's it. That's the entire composite of your, and it neutralizes the acid. I drank a giant cup of sodium bicarbonate and H2O this morning, and let me tell you, folks, I feel fantastic. I feel fantastic. You don't need antacids. You don't need Tums. You don't need Nexium. You don't need any of those other. God, what is the category that Nexium falls under? I forget. I swear, I live and die by that soda. My dad introduced it to me one year, and I was like, this. It does kind of taste a little bitter and disgusting. So I just look at it every time I drink it. I just think this is my medicine. I'm drinking medicine. It's basically a PPI. Yes, PPI. Larry is correct. So I've never like omeprazole. Thank you. That's the other one, the omeprazoles category. Nexium is a PPI. It's a pivotal proton inhibitor or something. Proton inhibitor. It works miracles. Baking soda is more natural and better for the body. Yes, cancer loves acid. So your body wants to maintain a natural balanced pH. That's why vegetables are so important for you, like natural greens, because they introduce fiber and things that like help neutralize the acids. Proton pump inhibitor. Thank you. It is the date just. Yes, this is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Date Just. I got it as a birthday gift to myself 3 years ago. When I was really winning on Dogecoin before it all collapsed, and I lost like 100 grand. But we're not going to talk about that. Does it matter the brand or the quality of the soda, the baking soda? No, they're all the same. It's all sodium bicarbonate. Okay, am I losing my mind? Is there no sound? Oh, there we go. Now there's sound. So the brand baking soda is irrelevant, pretty much. No problem, Carla. Dogecoin, I'm still sitting on a little bit of Doge.
22117, the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. Can I have the witness, please?
I say a little bit.
Good morning again, Council.
I have like 200,000 of them. It's okay. I may make my money back one day, maybe never.
Help streamline things today, so we appreciate that. I do
It's all a
have to ask
scam.
you those 3 questions. Were you all able to follow the instructions and refrain from doing any independent research or investigation?
I need to turn my volume up. Can everybody hear me okay? Is my volume too down, too up? Tell me where I'm at.
Did anyone happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case since we left yesterday? No. Thank you very much. Everybody answered those questions.
How's my volume?
appropriately. Okay, can we have Sergeant Bukhenik, please?
Oh, my volume is fine, Court is low. Got it. Thank you very
So I'm
much.
sure you haven't seen the court and jury in the case down here, and the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. Thank you.
I might be able to turn the feed up a little bit.
All right, Mr. Lally, whenever you're ready.
Is this better?
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
circle back just to a couple things that from your testimony from yesterday. Going back to the video that you reviewed from both C.F. McCarthy's and the waterfall. In total, from those two videos, how many drinks did you observe the defendant consuming over her time?
The video shows 9 drinks being consumed by the defendant.
And that's between when she arrives at C.F. McCarthy's until the time that she leaves the waterfall, is that correct?
That is correct.
And if I could turn your attention to the ring videos from One Meadows Avenue, Mr. O'Keefe's residence. From the videos that you observed, let me ask you first, as far as, do you know how those cameras work as far as when they turn on and when they turn off?
My understanding is that ring surveillance video is triggered to be recorded through motion. So if the camera detects motion, which is constantly live monitoring, and motion is detected, then that video is captured to a cloud-based system that retains that footage.
And from your review of those videos, what kind of motion would set those off? Like what kind of things would be recorded from the driveway camera?
Be activity in the driveway, such as a person walking through, bird landing, a vehicle pulling in, individuals, moving around in the driveway, and so forth.
The search warrant that was applied for was any and all videos between January 24th and January 30th, correct?
For one of the search warrants, that's correct, yes.
And with respect to that time frame, what, if any, activity based on information that you had received was not available or was not shown on those ring videos?
The data returned had video that would have been captured from the defendant arriving home after midnight on the 29th, after she dropped Mr. O'Keefe off at 34 Fairview Road. That video was not present in the data that was returned from Ring. There was,
what, if any, other video in addition to that one was not present?
there was also video missing from the defendant showing Ms. McCabe and Ms. Roberts the damage to her right rear taillight.
And what, if any, follow-up or what, if any, inquiry was then done with regard to Ring as far as those types of videos or deletion, or how those videos could not be present?
Correspondence with Ring produced information that
Sustain.
Yes, thank you.
Let me ask just first, was there follow-up with Ring in regard to those videos?
yes, there was.
And was there ever anything produced with regard to those videos or those time frames from Ring?
No, there was not.
If I can turn your attention over to your time in Dayton, just in reference to subsequent to that later on, what, if anything, did you receive, or what, if anything, did you request? What, if anything, did you receive from the Dayton Police in regard to January 29th, 2022?
I communicated with the Dayton Police Department requesting documentation from their officers' calls for service at our request, and log notes, logs from their dispatching center, as well as any reports that would document their activity if such reports existed.
And did you, what, if any, information did you receive in relation to that?
I received a log note or log printout from their CAD system, and I received a report authored by Officer Barrows.
And did you also receive any 911 calls?
Yes,
And who was the party as far as the 911 caller in regard to those 911 calls that you received?
it was Mr. Reed.
And again, just for clarity purposes, that's the defendant's father, is that correct?
That is correct.
And that's from the morning of January 29th, is that also correct?
Correct.
Now, sir, if I could turn your attention to February 3rd, 2022. At some point that morning, where did you go?
During the morning hours of February 3rd, we planned to meet at 34 Fairview Road. Myself, Trooper Proctor, and Trooper DeChico arrived at that location in order to conduct a secondary search of the area as the temperatures were turning and the snow was melting naturally, we decided to do another search for articles that were now, we realized and learned, were missing and could be of evidentiary value and aid in the, in the investigation.
And with respect to going to 34 Fairview Road, what, if any, tools or what, if anything, did you bring with you, you and the other troopers, in regard to conducting that secondary search?
I requested the troopers bring shovels, rakes, anything like gardening items that would help them to dig through the snow and locate any missing items.
And as far as the temperature change that you're talking about, how precipitous a change are we talking about?
The temperatures went above freezing, so the snow did begin to melt, and it was significantly warmer compared to the 18 degrees the night of the incident.
Now, you mentioned items of evidentiary value that you had learned of and were looking for. What, if any, clothing items of Mr. O'Keefe were you looking for specifically on February 3rd?
We were specifically looking for Mr. O'Keefe's baseball cap.
And in addition to yourself, Trooper Proctor and Trooper DeChico, who, if anyone else, did you notify, or who, if anyone, from any other unit within the state police responded that day as well?
We requested the assistance of the Crime Scene Services section of the Massachusetts State Police, and Trooper Evan Brent showed up to assist us with documentation of the location and the evidence that we were hopefully going to find.
And from those, Trooper Brent arrived and took photographs, is that correct?
That's correct.
And when was it that Trooper Brent arrived in relation to your arrival?
I believe he was already present when we pulled up, but I'm not sure to his exact time of arrival.
And with regard to that day, what, if anything, in general terms, what, if anything, were you able to locate and where was it, generally speaking?
We located Mr. O'Keefe's baseball hat. We located a drinking straw from a cocktail glass. We located items of plastic, colored plastic, and other shards of colored plastic at the location. All those items were located on the grass portion of the yard near the flagpole at 34 Fairview Road.
And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I have a moment? And Sergeant, I'm going to show you a series of photos, but I'm going to break this up a little bit.
So, Mr. Lally, with your back to the jurors and the air conditioning on, I'm sure they can't hear you.
My apologies.
Come on, Lally. Get your shit
So,
together.
sir, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some photographs, a series of them, but I'm going to break them up a little bit just to make it
Okay, sir.
hopefully quicker. Sir, first I'm going to show you 10 photographs. Ask if you could review those, look up when you're finished.
Let me try this. Do I sound better now? Because sometimes when I speak, I know I'm much louder than the court. They do not have AC. They only have the fans in there, Irish girl. This is like a 250-year-old courthouse. I moved the microphone sound. Okay, now I'm okay. Thank you guys. Cheryl Fodal, thank you for joining on as a member, as well as Mary Alice Carpenter Hope. That's a cool long name. Thank you for
Do
joining.
you recognize those, sir?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
Those are photographs documented the items located at 34 Fairview Road on the grass as the snow receded through the melting temperatures that were revealed to be positioned in the grass.
Position.
And what's contained in those photographs, is that a fair and accurate portrayal of what you observed on the front lawn area of 34 Fairview Road on February 3rd?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, may I approach?
The
Yes.
Danish doll says, watching from Denmark, love your no BS commentary.
Any objection,
and
Mr.
clever
Jackson?
insights.
No objection.
Hashtag buckle up, hashtag it's the law. Thank you very much, Danish doll. And the adventurous word says the Sallyport video was inverted. We saw the driver's side, not the passenger side. They proved nothing. And also, the 3 missing minutes that people have been talking about yesterday that I missed because I was dealing with a bunch of law firm drama. It's a half day today, no court tomorrow. We're going until noon today and no court tomorrow. The 3 missing minutes, I think, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but obviously there was no objection by Alan Jackson. They may use it in cross, I don't know, but I guess we'll figure it out. I guess we'll figure it out as time goes on. We'll know if it's a big deal or not when Alan Jackson gets a crack at this. This guy. Former Kentucky girl supporting the cause. Awesome. Welcome. Cross is gonna be lit for reals. No kidding.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, with the court's permission, if I could just ask to publish some of these photos. For the
Yes.
record. Just one moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could start with photograph 7659. And Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen and what's now been marked as Exhibit 468?
I do.
And if you could, just for orientation purposes, describe to the jury whereabouts in relation to 34 Fairview Road we are in this picture.
As standing on the street at Fairview Road, we're looking at the left side of the yard. In the top right corner, you can tell that there is a flagpole depicted in that photograph and a telephone switch box that's open on the left side, which is on the border of 34 Fairview Road.
And if I could ask from this photograph, if you know, grass that's visible on the front lawn area of 34 Fairview Road, is that from a natural melting process, or is that from some tools that you and the other troopers brought to assist you in your secondaries?
The reason that grass is exposed is due to processing of the scene and having the snow being moved away from the location and then natural melting process taking place on top of it. As you can tell, other portions of the yard is covered in snow, and the snow had not, the grass has not revealed itself just yet.
Now, as far as the photographs of various items that were located on this date, February 3rd, the photographs that were taken, were they taken as they lay, or were they touched or manipulated in any way prior to the photograph being taken?
The items photographed were discovered as soon as we realized what is being discovered through the digging and excavation process. They were then photographed instantly. Certain items were revealed naturally through the melting process and the snow.
This is not a kangaroo court. This is a witch trial. Time
No
Lord Cloud,
longer
you are not
concealing
wrong.
those items underneath.
Were there any
Thank you, Mr.
tire tracks in the yard? The
Photograph
flagpole is always away
7666.
from the road, says Moles 10 versus Turtles 0. Yeah. That's true.
Again, sir, do you recognize what's up on
That's
the
a
screen?
great
Now
question.
marked as Exhibit 470.
I do.
What do you recognize that to be?
I think
That
we'll
is
get
a
crossed
clear
today.
black and red piece of plastic.
I think we'll get crossed today. Not a lot, but we'll get some cross.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7669. And Sergeant, do you recognize what's now on the screen as Exhibit 473?
Yes, that is another piece of plastic.
And sort of towards the top middle of the screen, do you recognize what that is?
Yes, that's a fire hydrant from 34 Fairview Road, grass area.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have the next photograph, 4670. For the record, this is Exhibit 474. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, sir.
And is that a closer-up image of what was depicted in the prior exhibit?
Yes, it is.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7672. And sir, do you recognize what's up on the screen, which has now been marked as Exhibit 476?
I do.
And what do you recognize that to be?
Another piece of red taillight plastic.
And lastly, from dispatch, Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7673. Again, sir, do you recognize what's up on the screen, depicted in what's now marked as Exhibit 477?
I do.
And what do you recognize that?
That is the fire hydrant and the telephone switch box located on the edge of the property line at 34 Fairview Road.
Now, the photographs that I had just placed before you, have you had a chance to review those?
I have.
And do you recognize what's depicted in those photographs?
I do.
And what do you recognize those?
The property at 34 Fairview Road, left corner towards the street, capturing the flagpole and the telephone switch box.
May I approach, Ron?
Yes.
Call multitude to introduce and admit as the next exhibits. No objection.
Okay.
Karen Stoppel says, good morning from sunny southern Alberta, Canada. Go Oilers, go.
Thank you.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, if I could publish a few of the photos from this set.
Okay.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7681. Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen? It has now been marked as Exhibit 481.
I do.
If you could describe to the jury what's depicted in this photograph.
A red piece of plastic.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have the next one, 768.
Can you use the pointer to show us where that is, please?
Yes,
Good
Your
night,
Honor.
Mama. Thank you for joining on as a member. And Captain
All right,
Skidmark
thank
says, is dragging out a trial in order to drain the finite sources of a defendant a strategy? Absolutely it is. The Commonwealth has endless funds, but no evidence. That is
Sergeant, do you
correct, Captain
recognize,
Skidmark.
what's depicted on the screen has now been marked as Exhibit 48.
Government does this
I do.
all the time.
Yeah, I'm
to
going to see counsel at
citizens.
sidebar for just a minute, please.
What's going on? Why are we doing side back so early? Seems a little early for side back. Did something happen? Did I miss something? Matrix. Wow, member for 22 months. Woo, man. Has it been that long, really? It's been 2 years since the Johnny Depp trial, so I guess it kind of makes sense. You joined very shortly after that. Larry, there's been some chatter saying their memberships are being held. I've seen when a channel gets demonetized for a stream, not sure, heads up. What? I'm still monetized. Memberships being held. I don't know what that means. Memberships. Let me take a look. We're currently at 612 members. We had like 3 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people joined today. A bunch yesterday. No, it seems to be going well.
You are unmuted.
Maybe if they're like, your membership disappeared? No, 2 years since Johnny Depp.
7682.
Not 1. 2 years. It's 2024. The trial is in 2022.
What's up on the screen is Exhibit 482.
I do.
I hope so, Tim McSats.
A red piece of plastic.
Is that the same piece of plastic, the close-up image from the prior exhibit?
Yes, it is.
Note was passed to John O'Keefe's brother.
7684.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
Sergeant, you recognize what's up on the screen and is now been marked as Exhibit 484.
I do.
And what do you recognize?
Is that confirmed, folks?
A white clear piece of plastic and a
You
red
s-
piece of
A
plastic.
note was passed to John O'Keefe's brother,
Lastly, from this, sir, it's coming if I could have 7687.
Paul O'Keefe. Yeah, I'm gonna
And you
rewind on a
recognize
separate
what's up on the
screen.
screen. It's now been marked as Exhibit 487.
I do.
Now, Sergeant, with reference to the photos before you, have you had a chance to review that set of 10 as well?
Not this one yet, not yet.
If you could, please.
I saw that they were talking, but it wasn't a note. Lally's helper handed him a note?
And Sergeant, do you recognize what's depicted in those photographs?
I do.
What do you recognize those to be?
Items that were located in the street, being the black cocktail drinking straw, and then
I didn't see anything
black
being
pieces
passed
of
to him.
plastic, molding plastic,
It's yellow note.
and
Wow, you guys-
clear
okay.
pieces and molding from taillight.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Oh.
Any objection, Mr. Jackson?
None, Your Honor.
Yes, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Holy crap, you're absolutely right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your Honor, with the court's permission, if I could display some of these photographs for the jury.
Okay.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have 7688. And Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen?
I saw it, and then
I
he was
do.
reading it
What do you
for a
recognize
while.
it to be?
It's the wide shot of the drinking straw being found on the edge of the roadway in front of 34 Ferry Road.
Sergeant, if you could, using the laser pointer before you, if you could direct the jury's attention.
Time Lord Cloud says they've planted evidence in a bad place. If John was hit with a car that close to a fire hydrant from the back bumper, would have been ripped off at the speed you need to go kill someone with a car. Exactly.
Sergeant, what
The
are we
plastic
looking
would be at
in
impact, not 12
It's a
feet
close-up
into the
view of
yard.
the same straw.
Exactly.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have 7692. And Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen and has now been marked as Exhibit 492?
I do.
And what are we looking at in 492?
Piece of plastic next to a measuring ruler that's provided for comparison and by the crime scene photographer to document the item.
Matrix, thank you for the 5 gifted. Really appreciate you. And Blake Oz, thank you for joining on as a member as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the
For the record,
channel.
this is now Exhibit 494. Sergeant, what are we looking at in 494?
It's the same item from just prior,
You
just to
and
zoom
all of
in
us,
more,
Paige.
showing the detail, the black molding, the clear white, clear plastic, and red plastic.
Sergeant, as far as those photographs before you, have you had a chance to review those?
Yes, I have.
And do you recognize what those are?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those?
There are pieces of red plastic, pieces of clear plastic, and a piece of glass.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes,
I'm about to seek to introduce and admit the next 10 exhibits.
No objection.
thank you.
Good afternoon from Värmland, Sweden. I cannot wait for the crush. It is going to be a good crush. I hope I'm doing the Swedish accent quite well. I'm terrible
Thank
with
you.
accents.
Thank you very much. Your Honor, with the court's permission, if I could publish just a few of these photographs for the jury as well.
Okay.
It is so very bad.
And,
So very
Ms. Gilman,
bad.
if I could have photograph 7700.
I was terrible with
For the
that
record, This is
one.
now Exhibit 498. Sergeant, if you could describe to the jury what we're looking at here.
We're looking at a red piece of plastic next to a measuring ruler on the edge of the grass on the property at 34 Fairview Road by the road.
And if you could, sir, using that laser pointer, just direct the jury's attention to where you observe that item to be within this photograph.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right there.
Exactly.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7705.
Adventurous Word says she heard either Tully or Proctor has cancer. Hair and mouth, no Proctor to someone behind her. Okay, look.
So a shot
be it-
of red plastic next to a measuring ruler.
Far be it for me to like talk smack about somebody having cancer because it's not cool. It's one of those things that you never ever do. You never ever ever unless your name is Michael Proctor.
There is a black piece of plastic molding
If
next
you
to a measuring
are-
ruler.
Going to use cancer as an excuse why you shouldn't testify?
And lastly, from this set, Ms. Gilman exhibits, excuse me, photo number 7712.
Yeah, cancer or not, he needs to testify.
Again, for the record, this is exhibit 508. And again, Sergeant, if you could, using the laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to what, if anything, else significant to note in this.
A clear piece of plastic next to a measuring ruler.
That's found on the grass area as well, is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, Sergeant, with reference to that new set of photos before you, have you had a chance to review those?
Yes, I have.
And do you recognize what's contained within those photographs?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize that those photographs to contain?
They contain small red pieces of plastic from 34 Fairview Road on the grass area where we located the others. Also contain a
This dude
flimsy
needs to
piece
learn how
of
to enunciate.
circular, like very malleable plastic, clear plastic. In addition to that.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Come up, seek to introduce the witness the next 10 exhibits.
No objection.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Your Honor, may I publish some of these photos for the jury?
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7715. For the record, this is now exhibit 511. Sergeant, direct your attention to the screen if you could, using that laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to what, if anything, of significance you observed in this photograph.
That is the thin, malleable, circular in shape, a piece of clear plastic that was located in the lawn area of 34 Fairview Road.
Now, lastly, Sergeant, there's that set of photos that I
Lastly?
just placed before you. Have you
Don't
had a
get me
chance to
excited,
review those?
Lally. You just
Yes,
said the
I
word
have.
lastly. That's my
And do you
favorite word.
recognize what's depicted in those photographs?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
There are items. Those are items recovered in the lawn at 34 Fairview Road. Those items are a shard of glass, a BPD baseball hat with an American flag, and stains of blood.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'm going to introduce the witness the next
No
16
objection.
exhibits.
Sorry, no objection.
5 what? Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Your Honor, with the court's, sorry.
Jim.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, may I publish some of these photos for the jury as well?
Yes.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have.
Kyle Cowden says, I was hit at a scene above 20 miles an hour, moved me, hurt a little, but didn't knock me off the road, nor any lights damaged, less so the car. Yeah. This is all a farce.
I observed a shard
We
of
know
glass next to a measuring ruler.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have 7729. For the record, this is Exhibit 522. And again, Sergeant, if you could describe to the jury what we're looking at here.
It's a larger piece of red plastic with black molding around the edge, located next to the telephone switch box on the grass area at 34 Fairview Road.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7733. For the record, this is Exhibit 526. And Sergeant, from this photograph, what, if anything, are we looking at here?
This photograph here depicts the area which we are excavating during the morning hours of February 3rd, 2022. As the shovel works its way towards the grass, my laser pointer is directing your attention to Mr. O'Keefe's hat that was compacted underneath the snow on the ground.
Now, as far as this photograph is concerned, does that
The
accurately
hat.
depict the depth of the snow that you were digging into and sifting through on the morning of February 3rd?
It does.
And that, again, is several days after the blizzard of January 29th, correct?
That is correct.
And Ms. Gilman, if I can have photograph 7740. For the record, this is Exhibit 530. And again, Sergeant, if you could describe to the jury what we're looking at here.
We're looking at Mr. O'Keefe's hat on the grass, pressed down and compacted to a flat surface underneath the snow, which has been excavated around it.
Thank you very
So
much.
they buried the hat.
Ms.
That's
Gilman, you
easy
can
to do.
take that down. Thank you, Mr. Ross.
Thanks.
Sergeant, on February 3rd, 2022, is that the first time that you had been at 34 Fairview Road?
Yes, it is.
And with respect, if I could turn your attention briefly to the following day of February 4th, did you have occasion to go back to 34 Fairview Road on that day?
Yes, I did.
And what brought you to 34 Fairview Road on February 4th?
Having excavated those items on the 3rd, I directed the troopers in my office, who obviously reside in the communities around us, to make a point to travel by that location every day on the way to work and every day on the way home. The purpose of that was to see if anything else was to reveal itself as the snow naturally melts away and items could present themselves. So on the
What?
February 4th, as I
They
am
made it a
traveling to work,
mission to
I
drive past
diverted
the
my
house to see if
typical route of
anything
travel
will
to
reveal
go by
itself.
34 Fairview Road. Just prior to my arrival, I received a call stating that there was Kent police representatives at the scene, and more items have been revealed due to the melting snow, and that I should come collect those items. I was down the street. I arrived and collected the item that presented itself.
And if you recall, that item that you collected on February 4th, was that located on the lawn, on the street, or something else?
It was on the lawn.
Now, with reference to your collection of these items, either on February 3rd, February 4th, or on any sort of subsequent date, how were they collected, and what exactly did you do with them in reference to the seizing of the items and storage of the items?
Each item that was collected was placed in a evidence paper bag The collection was done by utilizing latex gloves to prevent any transfer of evidence from fingerprints to DNA onto those items. Then those items were transported to our office, logged into the system, and stored in the evidence lockers at the office.
And each of those respective bags of items or evidence, they were sealed as well, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, turning your attention to February 10th of 2022, did you have occasion to go back to 34 Fairview Road on that day as well?
I did.
And what, if anything, did you observe, or what, if anything, did you seize on that particular day?
We seized more shards of glass and plastic.
And if you know, or if you recall, how many pieces
Could Lally be in
did
trouble for
you
passing the
seize on
note?
that
No.
particular day?
But I do wonder what that
My
note
memory is
says. And it
exhausted to
wasn't
that,
Lally,
but
it was the
exact
female
numbers
prosecutor.
annotated
I forget her name.
on the
Is
bags
this the time
that
frame of
the
Matt
items were
McCabe's
placed into.
text? Maybe.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Hit the like for Larry.
I'm showing you
Thank you.
documents, just ask you to look at that section and look up when you're finished. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
No, you may not.
And is your memory refreshed as to how many items or what the items were that you recovered on February 10th?
Yes, it is.
And what were those items and how many, sir?
There was 6 items of clear red and black plastic and 14 items of plastic and glass.
Now, in addition to the dates that you were present at 34 Fairview Road and recovered items, them being February 3rd, February 4th, and February 10th, were there other dates that you're aware of that items were recovered by troopers that you supervised?
Yes.
And if you recall, what were those dates?
The dates were January 29th, February 11th, and February 18th.
Were there items recovered on February 8th as well?
Yes.
Now, as far as your direction or having, let me first start with you. So on the dates that you were there, February 3rd, 4th, and 10th, were you alone on those dates, or were there other troopers with you when you were there?
On the 4th, I was alone as far as state police personnel. There were other Canton law enforcement representatives at the scene with me as I collected that one item. On the other days, I was accompanied by other troopers.
And as far as you know, obviously not being present, but from your supervision of these troopers, were there other occasions where individuals were at 34 Fairview Road? Were they alone, or were they with a group of troopers?
Objection.
Sustained.
Good objection.
Now, as far as the items that were recovered when you were there on February 3rd, February 4th, and February 10th, did you have occasion to bring those items with you to court today?
Yes, I did.
And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
So I'm presenting you with a box. First, just ask if you recognize that box.
I do.
And what do you recognize that?
It's the box storing items logged into evidence as they relate to this case.
And Your Honor, with court's permission, may the sergeant open the box?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, while he's doing this crap, this is the short. Somebody sent it to me. Thank you, kind stranger. Did Karen just confirm no one will be calling Trooper Michael Proctor? I can't tell if she's saying ever or at all. You be the judge. No Proctor. At all. Ever. I think that's more ever. Proctor ever. Huh. No Proctor.
Sergeant, with respect to each of those bags, they contain items of evidentiary value, whether they be plastic or glass, that were recovered on February 3rd. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I'm sorry, how many bags in total do you have there before you?
I have 3 bags, 2 containing broken glass and plastic, and a stirring straw, a broken red plastic and clear plastic, and a bag containing 1 black Boston Police Department hat.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth will seek to introduce in minutes the next 3 exhibits.
No objection.
Okay.
No particular order.
Thank you.
Your Honor, with respect to what's now been marked as Exhibit 537, with the court's permission, may the sergeant remove that item, the hat, from the bag and display for the jury.
Yes.
Adair Case says Silverman's response was a joke and what the hell's the 1 second.
Thank you, sir. You can place that back in the bag. And Sergeant, from your observations of Mr. O'Keefe on surveillance video from both C.F. McCarthy's and the waterfall on January 29th, what, if any, similarities did you observe between the hat that you just displayed and located on the lawn of 34 Fairview Road and the hat Mr. O'Keefe is wearing in those videos?
It appears to be the same exact hat.
Now, Sergeant, with reference to the box of other items, if you could remove what, if any, items you recovered and seized from 34 Fairview Road on February 4th. And again, sir, just for the record, what's contained within that bag from February 4th?
Contained within the bag is a piece of red, hard plastic taillight cover.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth seeks to introduce in the minutes the next.
Silverman's response was a joke and what the hell's the response was still putting blame on Jeremy. The response was
5:38.
turned 16 minutes before the deadline. It's good. LOL.
And lastly, Sergeant, with regard to the box, if you could remove the items that you seized from February 10th, 2020.
Is there like an official motion filed?
And Sergeant, with respect to
By
those 2 bags
Silverman?
of items, if you could just inform the jury what is contained within those bags.
Bag labeled item number 10 contains 6 pieces of red, black, and clear plastic. Bag labeled number 11 is containing 14 pieces of glass and plastic fragments.
Thank you, Sergeant.
It's not on the
Your
federal
Honor, the
case.
Commonwealth
Is it on the
seeks to
state
introduce
case?
And admit as the next 2 exhibits.
Any objection, Mr. Jackson?
I'm sorry, no, Your Honor.
On the removal of the Thomases, Florida Northern District. It should be on the state case because I don't have a copy of that motion. Can anybody send me a copy of that motion? The state case. Yeah, that's what I thought. It would be on the state case.
5:39 and 5.
Because he never
Yes.
entered his appearance on the federal case. Preston. Lynette.
Moving on from that, if I could bring you back just one last time to the ring videos from One Meadows Ave, as far as you had testified earlier that There was no video that you observed.
Yeah, I only have the
defendant, Mr.
access to the
Hague, and
federal.
Ms. Roberts, looking at.
He read it
the
yesterday?
passenger Side taillight area of the vehicle, correct?
Oh, nice.
That's correct.
Was there any video of the defendant, Mr.
If
Hague,
anybody's
and
got a
Ms.
copy of the
Roberts actually
motion
leaving
by
from
any
One
chance
Meadows
or
Ave
have
on that
access
morning
to
of
it,
January
please send it to
29th?
me.
There was not.
Now, as far as the videos that were not there, as far as the defendant, Ms. Bukhenik, Ms. Roberts leaving, the next video depicted Mr. Camerano arriving at the residence to pick up
10
Ms.
pages?
Furbush, correct?
Yeah, send it to me.
Yes, that's
please.
correct.
And
I'd love to
with
see it.
regard to the missing video of the defendant arriving at One Meadows Ave on January 29th, sometime after midnight, the video immediately preceding that, again, would have been Mr. Camerano arriving and picking up his daughter from One Meadows Avenue sometime around 11:30 p.m., correct?
That's correct.
And those videos were both present, correct?
That's correct.
If I could bring you back to February 3rd, 2022. On that date, did you have occasion to meet with a gentleman by the name of Brian Higgins?
Yes, I did.
And when you met with Mr. Higgins, who, if anyone from your office, was with you when you met?
Trooper Mike Proctor was from
It was
my
sent
office
in with
present during
16
that
minutes
interview.
to spare.
And during the course of that
I'm not
interview,
surprised.
what, if any, documentation did Mr.
Thanks,
Higgins
Adair, for
provide?
that intel.
Mr. Higgins provided me with a printout of a Celebrate extraction containing
Thanks, Mary. Hashtag
conversations
justice
via
for
text
Kitty.
message between him and Mr. John O'Keefe and between him and the defendant. He also provided a digital copy of the same extraction on a CD.
Now, what, if anything, did you advise Mr. Higgins of at that time as far as Mr. O'Keefe's phone and the defendant's phone?
I advised Mr. Higgins that we were in possession of both of those devices and would have the extraction and accurate documentation of those conversations.
And did he seem to understand that when you told him?
Yes, he understood it.
Objection.
Sustained.
Move to strike.
Strike that, folks.
Now, also on February 3rd, at some point, did you have occasion to go inside of 34 Fairview Road?
Yes, I did.
And who, if anyone, did you interview inside of 34 Fairview Road on that date?
I interviewed Mrs. Albert.
That would be, just for the record, Nicole Albert. Is
Thanks,
that correct?
Mary.
That's correct.
And who, if anyone, was present with you during that interview of Nicole Albert?
It was Trooper Mike Proctor was present with me.
Anybody else from the Albert family present in the home or present during the course of that interview?
Mr. Brian Albert was also present. I don't know who else exactly was present in the home. I just know that those two residents were in the room with us.
And where was Brian Albert at the time that you conducted the interview of Nicole Albert?
In the room with us, seated next to her.
Now, with reference to, I'm going to ask you just a little bit about sort of the interview process as far as the interviews that you conducted in this case.
Yes.
If you could describe to the jury, starting with sort of how many people from your unit are present for a given interview and how those interviews are conducted.
We conduct interviews always at pairs. I think I mentioned it yesterday. Typically, during a regular investigation into a homicide or any death investigation, we pair up our troopers with
Ozzy's
a
on
local
day
detective.
14.
In this instance, since Cam
Ozzy
had recused
Overlord?
themselves from interview portion of the investigation, they were not going to provide manpower for those interviews to be conducted. Thus, we had to utilize only troopers from our office in order to conduct those interviews.
Oh, that is a good excuse. We only had to use troopers from our office because everyone else was too
Typically-
busy.
Obviously not perfect, but as far as the interviews that you were present for, about how long a period of time, generally speaking, were the interviews that you conducted in this case?
From my experience, I have learned that to fully communicate a course of recollection of events that an individual observes, experiences, or is aware of, and understand every detail of that experience, it would take approximately 45 minutes at a minimum to conduct a full interview
How do
with
you
a
know
witness in detail.
That's an approximation.
Now, sir, if I could turn your attention to June 9th of 2022. On that date, at some point, did you have occasion to meet with the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And at some point during that meeting, did you have conversation with the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And was that conversation, or at least portions of it, memorialized in any way?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'm showing you a disc. Does that contain an audio recording, the best of your knowledge? Does that contain an audio recording of a portion of your conversation with Ms. Reed on June 9th, 2022?
Yes, it does.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'll hold the seat to introduce the minutes of the next exhibit.
All right. No objection, Mr. Jackson? All right, folks, before we play this, again, please be mindful of the instruction from yesterday. So you're about to hear statements allegedly made by the defendant, allegedly concerning the crimes with which she's charged in this case. Before you can consider any such statement as evidence, the Commonwealth must prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant made the statement she's alleged to have made and that she made it voluntarily, freely, and rationally. In determining whether the statement made by the defendant was voluntary or not, you may consider all the surrounding circumstances. These include when and where the statement was made, the nature of any conversations with the police or any questioning by the police, the defendant's physical and mental condition, including her intelligence, age, education, experience, and personality. Your decision does not turn upon any one factor, and you must consider the totality of the surrounding circumstances.
Finally, she makes a good instruction.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, may we publish that for the jury at this time?
Yes, do you want to
Denise
turn
A.,
off
thank
the
you
air
for joining
conditioning?
us as a member.
Is this very short, right?
It is very short, and if we could, please, yes.
And this is just audio, correct?
Okay, you're aware he was beaten up by Brian and Colin Albert. I mean, we're all in on the same joke, right? My taillight was cracked and John was pulverized.
I'm sorry, what did that prove?
On hearing that statement from the defendant, what was your reaction?
Objection.
Sustained.
On hearing that statement, what, if anything, did you do?
I advised the defendant not to further speak.
Objection.
I'll allow that.
Now, at some point over the course of your investigation, were you made aware of forensic findings relating to the defendant's tail,
Yes, I was.
and specifically DNA findings,
Yes.
Thank you.
and specifically that there were
Objection.
Sustained.
Come on, Lally, get your shit
Yes.
together.
You can turn the air conditioning.
So, what did we learn from that one piece? That the taillight was cracked? I'm sorry, fam. I'm a little confused. What did we learn from that? What did that teach us? I learned nothing. We learned that Reed admitted her taillight hit John's head? What? Somebody, if you don't mind, go ahead and replay.
You are unmuted.
I don't want to do this on stream, so we can continue watching.
I'm back. Have one moment.
Yes.
That is not what was said. No, we did not learn that. Exactly. Thank you, Monique. All right, Monique will be back with
So
us.
Sergeant Bukhenik, on
Thank you.
January 16th, 2024, at some point in that day, did you meet with a Sergeant Gallerani of the Needham Police Department?
I did.
And who, if anyone else, well, let me ask you this. As far as any other troopers from your office, who, if anyone else, was there with yourself and Sergeant Gallerani?
Trooper Mike Proctor.
And what was the purpose of your meeting with Sergeant Gallerani, Trooper Proctor, on that morning?
Collection of our DNA.
And was that something that you did voluntarily?
Yes.
And how was it that the sergeant collected your DNA?
Through a buccal swab.
And were you present when Trooper Proctor submitted to a buccal swab as well?
Yes, I was.
And then as far as the swabbings that were taken from both yourself and Trooper Proctor, were those logged in evidence by you,
Excuse
or did
me.
Sergeant Gallerani take them with him when he left?
Sergeant Gallerani took him with it when he left.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Thank you, Chad. She said something about Colin before she said anything about him being pulverized and that her taillight was cracked.
My apologies, Your Honor.
That's okay.
Thank you very much, Sergeant. Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Oh, thank
Okay.
God.
Cross-examination?
Thank you, Your Honor.
1:18:30.
Sergeant Bukhenik, I want to start with one of the latter things that you discussed with Mr. Lally, and that's specific to the ring video that y'all talked about this morning. Do you have that in mind?
I do.
The search warrant that produced, and just so we're clear, I'm talking about the specific ring video or series of videos that were associated with One Meadows, John O'Keefe's home.
Okay.
Okay. You didn't write the search warrant for those ring videos, did you?
I did not.
You were not the affiant for those search warrants.
I was not.
Who was the author of the search warrant and the affiant?
It was Trooper Mike Proctor.
Who received the actual ring video or videos from the Ring Corporation?
It was Trooper Mike Proctor received it.
And who ultimately either logged those into evidence or controlled those once they were received from the Ring Corporation?
I believe it was Trooper Mike Proctor.
And ultimately, Sergeant Bukhenik, you did note that in addition to just the physical videos themselves, that login information and login keystrokes, et cetera, were requested from the Ring Corporation as well, correct?
There was discussion with Ring asking for those logs.
I'll call it, is it correct to say an activity log?
That's what was requested, yes, activity log, yes.
So ultimately, the activity log would show who logs in, who accesses the data, things of that nature, correct? Or at least that was the hope.
That is what was requested.
All right. It would also show logging in and executing deletions, manipulating the log files, things of that nature, correct?
That is what was requested, yes.
When you reviewed those log or activity logs, there was no evidence revealed that my client ever logged into that account, correct?
There was no activity logs provided by Ring.
So you have zero, hang on.
This guy's demeanor has definitely changed.
Isn't it true that Ring contacted Trooper Proctor and indicated that they had created a Dropbox folder that contained the evidence that had been sought in the search warrant?
Objection.
Sustained.
Isn't it true that the search warrant return specified account information, video recordings, and number 3, activity logs associated with the video recordings for all times displayed in UTC?
I'm not aware of that, no.
Do you recall that activity logs were in fact provided from the Ring Corporation?
Oh.
I do not recall that, no.
May I approach briefly?
Yes.
Oh, snap. Oh, it's about to go down, folks. It's about to go down.
Take a look, Sergeant, at that paragraph with my fingers on it. It's about the 3rd paragraph down, the middle of the page, and review that
It's about
to yourself and let me know when you're finished.
Roll. Are you aware, Sergeant, that actually we got some Ring data? Mother. I love it. Maybe you didn't because you didn't want it nor need it because your investigation is a freaking sham. But we actually got it. Mofo. Take a look. You stupid face. You stupid butthole. Yes, I'm going to be a 12-year-old. If Lally is going to be a 12-year-old prosecutor, I'm going to be a 12-year-old streamer. Sue me. If this prosecution is going to be a farce, my stream is going to be a farce. That's what's up. I call them the way I see them, folks.
Have you had an opportunity to review that?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's go.
Does this
Fireworks.
refresh your recollection as to the items received from the Ring Corporation?
That is the first time I saw that document, so it does not refresh my recollection. I simply read it.
So do you have a recollection as you sit here that in fact, during the course of your investigation, the 3 items that you received from the Ring Corporation were the account information, the video recordings, and quote, activity logs associated with the video recordings, all times displayed in UTC?
To the extent of its availability, as it says in that document.
Okay. The long and short of it is, during the entire course of your investigation, you never revealed that investigation never revealed any evidence whatsoever that my client ever even accessed the account information for the Ring account associated with this search warrant, correct?
Nothing provided by Ring proved or suggested or proved any evidence of that type of activity, no.
Thank Trooper Proctor, you were notified.
I am not Trooper Proctor.
I'm sorry. No, you're not. Sergeant Bukhenik.
Sergeant Bukhenik.
How do I say it?
Bukhenik.
I'll give that
Can't.
a shot.
It's fine.
Bukhenik?
Yes,
Is that better?
that's better. Thank you.
If I screw it up again, please.
I love this. He's always gonna get under his skin. Oh my
On
god.
January 29th, you were
That
notified
was so
about
perfect.
a Boston police officer found gravely
this all
injured
the time,
outside the
because I'm
home
like,
of 34
What are
Fairview.
you, trooper?
at
are you
about
police
6:40 in the
officer?
morning. Is that your testimony?
Sheriff? What
That
are
is
you?
not.
What time were you notified?
I was not notified it was a Boston police officer.
So you didn't have that information upon the first notification?
I did not.
Okay, what information did you have?
There was a male party in the snowbank, possibly of a heart attack.
At what point did you learn that the individual was in fact a sworn Boston police officer?
I do not know exactly when I learned that he was a Boston police officer.
I think it was during that day or the following day.
It was most likely that day, either. Yeah.
Fair enough. Trooper Proctor was ultimately assigned as the, what did you call him? Not lead investigator, but case officer?
That's correct.
He was assigned on
We're
the
on
29th,
cross.
correct?
He was on call from 7 a.m. on January 28th until 7 a.m. on January 29th.
So his assignment was, he was assigned on the 29th because he was on call.
He was on call. His assignment took effect when the schedule came out back in mid-December.
Okay. Well, he wouldn't be assigned to this investigation until there was a need for the investigation, right? That's all I'm getting to. I mean, once the call came in, he was the assigned case agent.
Once the calls come in, the person that's on call is automatically assigned that case.
All right. Did you personally, as his supervisor, did you personally respond to 34 Fairview at any point on January 29th?
No, I did not.
Did
Oh
Trooper
my
Proctor,
God.
at your direction or on his own, ever respond to 34 Fairview Road at any time on January 29th?
No, he did not.
Based on your initial investigation, and I'm talking about going way back, Sergeant, on your initial investigation, by 10 or 10:30 in the morning, 10:40 in the morning, it was your belief that Mr. O'Keefe had been struck in the face by a person. That was your initial understanding of the circumstances surrounding the investigation, correct?
My initial understanding was that the defendant stated that she hit him. We did not know the.
Sergeant, you hadn't even met my client at that point. You hadn't interviewed a single witness by 10:41 in the morning, correct? Not one witness.
That's not correct. We had already interviewed the first responders.
Okay, when I say witness, I'm talking about civilian witnesses. So at 10:41, you hadn't interviewed a person at 34 Fairview or associated civilians associated with this incident, correct?
At that point, no civilians have been interviewed, no.
But at 10:41, Sergeant, you contacted Good Samaritan Hospital to inform them that, quote, Mr. O'Keefe was struck in the face with a cocktail glass, end quote, correct?
I do not recall contacting Good Samaritan Hospital.
What?
May I approach?
Yes.
Are you serious, bro? I can only imagine the look on the jurors' faces right now. Oh my God.
I'd like you to take a look at this document, and if you wouldn't mind, pay special attention to the second page, the bottom paragraph where it's tabbed in pink.
He's very uncomfortable. Oh my God, he's so uncomfortable. Man, thank you. I'm sneezing all day today. I'm so allergic to bullshit and lies. Thank you, Chad.
May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Having reviewed this, does this refresh your recollection that you contacted Good Samaritan Hospital and gave them an assessment, at least based on your investigation at that time?
That is not true.
What did you say to Good Samaritan Hospital?
I never spoke to Good Samaritan Hospital. That document is from the medical examiner's office.
I'm not asking you where the document is from. I'm asking you if the document says Trooper Yuri Bukhenik called back at 10:41 stating the case is now being treated as a suspicion.
The objection sustained.
Did you call back to Good Samaritan Hospital and say that the investigation was being treated as a suspicious due to a domestic situation? Did you say that?
I never spoke to Good Samaritan Hospital.
Did you say that there's a possibility that D was struck in the face with a cocktail glass?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you ever contact anybody at any medical facility and indicate that the investigation was being treated as a suspicious, in quotation marks, because the victim appeared to have been struck in the face by a cocktail glass? Did you ever say
Objection.
that?
Allow that. Did you ever say that?
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I did say that to the medical examiner's operations desk.
Okay.
There you go.
So when I was asking you if you ever said
Good
it
boy.
to Sam, you said, no, that's not true. That's never happened. You were correcting me on the fact that it happened at the medical examiner's office, not at Good Sam.
I responded and answered your question honestly, yes.
Okay. So honestly, you did, in fact, at 10:41 a.m., indicate to another professional involved in the investigation that the circumstance was being treated as a physical assault at that point, correct?
I communicated our suspicions to the medical examiner's office.
And that was at 10:41 or thereabouts in the morning, correct?
That's correct.
Your initial investigation during those obviously critical hours, the beginning hours, led you to believe that there was at least a good possibility. You indicated that you made a phone call, that it was a physical altercation that led to John O'Keefe's death, correct?
That's correct, yes.
What steps did you take, sir, in those moments, to determine whether someone in the house at 34 Fairview may have been involved in that physical altercation that you suspected at the time?
As investigations develop, we followed the evidence and statements made. The steps I took was Trooper Proctor and I proceeded to an eyewitness who was also present at the scene when the victim was discovered and interviewed Ms. McCabe.
By the
And
way, Yuri Bukhenik's
Prior to that,
Twitter
prior to
page
interviewing
was
Mr.
public
McCabe,
yesterday,
by the
and
way,
today
that
it's been privatized.
That's correct, yes.
even though you believe that there may have been a physical altercation, you didn't ask anybody to come down to the station. Is that right? Any of the witnesses?
That's correct.
And you did not seek to actually go to the physical location of 34 Fairview in those next few hours
That's correct.
or the next few days, correct?
Not myself, no.
Okay. As a matter of fact, Trooper Proctor did not either, did he?
No, he did not.
You didn't secure the interior of the house as a potential crime scene. You certainly know how to do that, right?
That's a cop-out question. Do you want me to answer whether I did it or whether I know how to do it?
Well, I'll ask the question. If you don't, if you can answer it, please answer it.
Okay.
Can you answer that question?
I can answer that question.
Why don't you answer both of them then?
First portion is we did not secure the home as a crime scene. And the second portion, yes, I do know how to do that.
And you didn't, as a Massachusetts State Police official, you didn't secure the outside as a crime scene either, did you?
I did not know.
To your knowledge, nobody else from Massachusetts State Police ever did either, did they?
Yes, they did.
How was that done and when?
When members of our office and the CERT team responded to that location and secured the front yard grass area and processed it.
That was at 5:45, 6 o'clock that night on the 29th?
I believe it was earlier, but I was not present, so I can't testify to the time.
So you don't know personally what they did to quote unquote secure or not secure the crime scene. You know they searched it, but in terms of securing it as a crime scene, you don't
You're
have
welcome,
personal
Jenna,
knowledge
baby.
of that.
I was not present.
Thanks for joining on as a member,
You never
Mr.
took any
Carey.
photos of the interior of the house, correct?
I did not know.
You never caused CSSS to go inside the house and process that house as a potential crime scene, correct?
I did not know.
Welcome to
No
the Red Solo
forensic
Cup. I don't
criminals
recall butt
at your
dial
direction
trial.
ever
Make sure to
went
hit that
into
like, show some
24
love.
Fairview?
Thank you, Annie Jean.
No, they did not.
And the
Turtle
people
Boy
that
said
you
he's getting calls as a
interviewed on
witness.
January 29th, you already mentioned Ms. McCabe. The other people were
Is this
her
true?
husband, Matt McCabe, correct?
That's correct.
And her brother-in-law, Brian Albert. Is that right?
That is correct.
And all three of them were interviewed where?
They were interviewed at the McCabe residence.
Now, yesterday when you testified, did you indicate that Brian Albert was not present in the home when you interviewed Matt McCabe and Jennifer McCabe?
They were not, he was not present in the dining room when we were interviewing each individual separately.
So if all three of them testified that he arrived before you arrived, they would all be wrong.
I did not see him in the home when we arrived, no.
I want to switch gears real quick to a couple of the physical items that you testified about yesterday, specifically the gray shirt or the gray hoodie.
This guy's
And
not
the
known to me
orange
as the
shirt.
Blue Falcon. So, Cupper, how
You
many
and
rings did
Trooper
you help
Proctor
burn?
collected
Rah,
both of
get
those
'em.
items you indicated from the floor of the hospital at Good Samaritan, correct?
That's correct.
You testified that you and Trooper Proctor immediately bagged both of those items. They were sort of sopping wet, I think you said.
That's correct.
Really, Ian?
You indicated that the bags
a
were
huge
so wet
compliment
that you
for
had
me.
to take the
I'll take it.
items back out of the bags and then lay them out on, I think you said butcher paper. Is that right?
The items were soaked and wet. They were bagged, double bagged, to prevent leakage of physiological fluids and the moisture coming off of it. And then once they were transported to the office, they were laid out on butcher paper in order to dry naturally.
So you went from Good Samaritan directly to Dighton, correct?
That is correct.
And then you went from Dighton directly to the Canton Police Department, after which you had seized the vehicle, correct? And the phone.
We seized the phone in the vehicle in Dighton and then followed the tow truck straight to the Canton Police Department.
So at some point, if you had received or gathered the wet clothing at Good Sam, went from Good Sam to Dighton Canton PD, at what point that evening did you finally get those items of clothing out and laid out to dry?
It was late that night, around 10 or so.
So where were the items in the meantime?
They were stored in the back passenger compartment of my pickup truck.
In those double bags.
Correct.
Who took control of the items to then lay them out late that night at the office?
I do not recall.
Is that you or Trooper Proctor?
I don't recall. I don't remember.
At some point, obviously, it was getting late. You'd been on duty for a long time that day. You went home at some point, correct?
At some point, yes.
Did you wait for those clothes to dry before you went home, or did you leave that in Trooper Proctor's hands?
No, once they were laid out in the processing area in the office, we went home.
Okay. Who would have controlled those items of evidence when you left?
Well, they're under lock and key within the secure area of the district attorney's office, so they're secured. Nobody's in physical control watching guard over them.
Who had access to that area?
Troopers in our office.
Like
Meaning
Trooper
you,
Proctor.
Obviously.
Yes.
Supervisor. Trooper Proctor as well, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Ultimately, given the fact that he was the case officer, sort of in charge, the lead, he would have bagged those items up, been responsible for taking those items, tagging them, getting them stored wherever they needed to be stored and processed, correct?
As a case officer, he could direct other people to perform those tasks for him. The evidence officers in the office log in the evidence, and once it was dried, it was sealed up, bagged, and put into storage. As far as who actually performed those tasks, I do not know.
Well, yesterday, Your Honor, may I approach the course, right? There's a couple of evidence.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Thank you.
Mike Cruz says check Turtle Boy's short from a couple of days ago.
This is not a vision contest. I'll bring these up to you in just a second, but just for familiarity's sake, do you recognize these two bags as bags that you brought to court with you yesterday?
They look familiar, yes.
Okay. This one has a 437 on it on my right. The one on my left has a 438 on it. May I approach briefly?
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you to open those. Don't worry about gloving up at this point. The bag on your left, which one is that? 437 or 438?
The bag on my left is 437.
437. Okay. And you indicated that those items were bagged after the clothing was dried and then ultimately processed in, logged in, correct?
Once the items dried, they were bagged and logged in, waiting processing, yes.
But you didn't personally do that.
No, I did not, no.
Matter of fact, looking at the bag on your right, what's been marked as Exhibit 430, help me, 438, thank you. That one has some writing on it, correct?
Yes, it has a lot of handwriting on it, yes.
And that, whose handwriting is that?
I don't know.
You've seen Trooper Proctor's handwriting like 1,000 times, I guess, correct?
Not 1,000 times, but
Does it look like his writing?
it says Trooper Proctor on it, but other than that, I do not know what Trooper Proctor's handwriting looks like.
All right. It indicates that Trooper Proctor is the one that bagged that item or those items up, correct?
Yes, this bag indicates that the item was collected by Trooper Proctor on 129
Right.
at 10.
And it says Brockton, correct?
Good Samaritan Hospital in Brockton, yes.
You just took the question out of my mouth. That's where Good Samaritan Hospital is, correct?
That's correct.
And there's a tag or a printed label, looks like a label maker of some sort, that is on that physical bag, correct?
Yes.
Before we get to that, what's the description on that bag in handwriting?
I'm sorry, can you be specific as to description of what or?
Where it says description of items.
Description of enclosed evidence?
Correct.
It says 1 orange t-shirt, 1 gray long sleeve shirt.
Okay. So may I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
And before I do that, just so I close this loop, what's the description on the bag to your left, the one that looks like it's less sprinkled?
Number 437?
Yes, if you would read the same clothing description.
The description of enclosed evidence states sweatshirt with recovered items inside container.
May I approach now?
Yes.
Thank you. Yesterday when you opened, keep my voice up. Yesterday when you opened these two bags, this one, 437, has the gray sweatshirt in it. 438 has the orange t-shirt in it now, correct?
That's what was in the bag, yes.
All right. However, the bag indicates at one point, this bag, 438, the physical bag I'm holding in my left hand, had both the sweatshirt and the t-shirt together, correct?
That's what the description is. I do not know if that was in case.
Oh,
or
come
in
on,
fact the case.
dude. No, the description never matches the contents of the frickin' bag.
The reason you don't know is because you're not the one that bagged it. Trooper Proctor did, correct?
The reason I don't know is I wasn't present during the separation of those items, and I did not observe it taking place, nor was I made aware of how the items were separated or when.
You are aware, however, that tag that's on the label maker looking tag, the white tag that's on that bag indicates that indicates a date of February 4th, correct?
You'd have to bring that back up.
I'm
I
sorry,
didn't take note of that.
my fault. May I, Your Honor?
Yes.
Let's direct your attention to the tag and the date associated with that tag.
The label maker tag does have the date February 4th, 2022 on bag number exhibit 438.
May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you, Sergeant.
He looks so uncomfortable. Look at his body language.
That's obviously 6 days after the item was actually recovered on the 29th, correct?
Yes, it is.
So that indicates, at least based on that tag,
Yes.
that item was not booked into evidence and processed
That's exactly
until
Drono.
6 days after it was actually recovered on the floor at Good Samaritan Hospital. Is that right?
The date indicates February 4th, 2022.
Right. And that date would be indicative, in your experience, of the date that it's moved into processing by some other folks, the evidence sergeants or whomever, or the evidence officers rather, or whomever, correct?
I can't speak to their procedures as far as when they print the date. That date could be when they printed the label, but the bag might have been tagged otherwise. I do not know that.
But there's no other tag on that bag that suggests an earlier date, correct?
There's just that one tag from
Thank you.
the label maker.
My question to you, if you know, sir, and you may not know, is what was happening to these items between January 29th, after you lost sight of them that night on the butcher paper, and February 4th, when that tag indicates that they were first processed?
To the best of my knowledge, those items were drying on the butcher paper.
For 6 days?
If that's what the label maker says, yes, for 6 days. They were soaking wet.
And those would have been certainly accessible to and in the possession of the lead case officer in the case.
The lead case
Trooper Proctor,
officer, Trooper
right?
Proctor.
Yes, if Trooper Proctor needed to review those items, he would have access to those items. Absolutely.
And you're also aware that the first actual log of any chain of custody for those items is March 14th, when they were finally submitted 6 weeks later to the crime lab.
That is not true. The first actual log of those items is when we collected them from the hospital.
Where's the log? I'm talking about a physical log, like a sign in, sign out log. Where's the log?
It's documented in the reports saying that we collected them.
I know that there's a report. Anybody can write a report, right? I can write a report. Doesn't mean anything. I'm asking for a log.
Objection.
So the objection sustained.
Obviously, when items move in and out of people's custody in an official capacity for the Massachusetts State Police, there's a log of that, correct?
It's documented, yes.
Or at least it should be, correct?
It's documented.
Where's the log of these items before March 14th?
It's documented in the report.
There is no log, is there, Sergeant?
Oh,
I do not know.
there is no log. How do you not
I
keep
want
a
to talk a little bit
log?
about some searches that Mr. Lally asked you about, February 4th and February 10th, very specifically. Both of those searches you were involved with out at 34 Fairview, correct?
Correct.
But Sergeant, you didn't personally write a report about your conduct at 34 Fairview on either of those 2 days. In other words, you didn't go back to the station and generate a report yourself.
I don't recall doing that, no.
There were no photos that you took of the items at the location.
I did,
Somebody else took photos, correct?
I did not take photos of the items. no.
Okay. And the first report that indicates anything that happened or was recovered at the location on either February 4th or February 10th, that was first notated in a report dated November 4th, 2023, year and several months later, correct?
If you say so, I do not know the exact date. That report would have to be presented to me.
May I approach?
Yes.
Then let me present you with the report, buddy boy.
You don't have to read the whole thing, but if you can skip to the part that talks about the February 4th and February 10th searches.
That clip was odd. I think she was gaslit into believing she hit John. Once she told Jennifer McCabe she cracked her taillight, the framing took shape. Yep, exactly, Breezy 12.
I'm
Exactly.
sorry, I didn't realize you're finished already. What's the date of that? Well, let me ask a foundational question. Does that refresh your recollection as to the date of the report that actually talks about the February 4th and February 10th searches?
It does.
And what's the date of that report, sir?
This report is dated November 4th, 2023.
Thank you. May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, as it relates to those 2 searches, I'd like to ask you a little bit about the February 4th search first. You indicated that you actually responded to 34 Fairview personally, correct?
I was responding to that location on my own. I personally responded, yes.
Okay. That was because you had received information that Chief Berkowitz had seen something or found something. Is that right? Chief Berkowitz from Canton PD.
That is not correct, no.
Okay.
No?
So when you got there, was Chief Berkowitz there?
Yes, he was.
You just happened to go by 34 Fairview at the exact same time on the exact same date as Chief Berkowitz, or was that coordinated in some way?
Oh.
There was no coordination between me and Chief Berkowitz. As I testified, I had directed the troopers to go by the location. I planned to go by the location in the morning on the way to the office and in the afternoon on the way home, just to see if any more items would reveal themselves. So that morning, I was actually traveling to that location in order to conduct a view of the area to see if any more evidence had been revealed. Prior to my arrival, approximately while I was on Chapman Street, I received a call indicating that Chief Berkowitz was at the location, yes.
And was there also an Officer Lank, Sergeant Lank?
I do not know Sergeant Lank was there, no.
Okay. Chief Berkowitz certainly was there.
Yes,
And Chief Berkowitz indicated that as he was driving by, he saw a piece of glass
yes.
and stopped his car and then started making phone calls.
I believe that's what he indicated to the caller, yes.
Did you question Chief Berkowitz about why he was driving by the location in the first place?
Absolutely not.
Okay, you knew at that point that the Canton Police Department had been recused because of at least an appearance or potential for a conflict of interest, correct?
I knew they recused themselves due to only in respect to interviews. They didn't want to conduct interviews with us side by side.
I mean, if there's a conflict of interest, Sergeant, for a department, conducting the interviews is just one aspect of an investigation, correct?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to speak to a conflict of interest, but yes, conducting an interview is just one aspect of the investigation, yes.
So is it your testimony that your understanding was they couldn't conduct interviews, but they could collect evidence, store evidence, write search warrants,
Oh.
give returns on search warrants, execute search warrants, conduct searches. They could do all that but not conduct interviews.
My understanding was they were recusing themselves from conducting interviews. They still allowed us to use their facilities. We utilized their conference room to conduct interviews. There was evidence being stored at their Sally Port, being the vehicle. So that was my understanding.
Isn't it true that you knew that the entirety of the Canton Police Department had recused itself because of a familiarity between one of their members, Kevin Albert, and the Albert family on whose lawn John O'Keefe was found? That was the conflict, correct?
I knew that that was the connection between them, yes.
And you understood, sir, that that agency was to have nothing, from an investigative standpoint, nothing to do with this investigation, correct?
They were not conducting the investigation, no.
Matter of fact, Trooper Proctor and you supervising him, y'all were conducting the investigation, right?
Our office was conducting the investigation.
So did you find it unusual or suspicious in any way
Welcome back.
that the chief of police for the conflicted Canton PD was the person driving by 34 Fairview looking for evidence?
Objection.
Can you answer that question, Sergeant?
He would have to repeat it. There's just so much I can't.
It was a little wordy. I'll try it again. Did you find that suspicious?
Which part? You have to repeat the whole thing.
That Chief Berkowitz from the conflicted Canton PD was at 34 Fairview looking for evidence.
Oh.
The way you posed the question, I did not find it suspicious at all. He's the chief of the police in the town where he works,
But he's
and he's
conflicted
driving down the
out.
street. I mean, that's not suspicious.
With a conflict of
Really?
interest on the very
Really?
case that he's driving by.
With a
Objection.
conflict.
Sustained.
Oh.
You certainly knew as a supervisor over the case officer that any involvement by Canton Police Department, given the fact that there's a potential conflict, any involvement by them could compromise your otherwise clean investigation. You knew that, right?
Not necessarily, no.
Did Chief Berkowitz disclose to you that morning on February 4th that he had been communicating with Brian Higgins and Brian Albert, two witnesses on your case that morning?
Objection.
Sustained.
Phrase it differently.
If you knew information about communication between and among Canton PD and your witnesses, you would find that inappropriate, would you not?
Objection.
Sustained.
It's the
You
question
returned
is
to
out
the scene
there.
on February 10th, is that right?
He knows it's going to be
Conducting other
objected
searches,
to.
you say.
I was present on the 10th, yes.
Who dispatched you back to, or did anybody dispatch you back to that location on February 10th? How did you end up there is a better way to ask it.
February 10th, just like previous days, we made plans to go to the location in the morning, in the afternoon, drive by. I was on my way to work and to home. So I traveled that route on purpose. And as evidence revealed itself due to the natural melting of the snow, we would stop and collect the visible evidence.
You believe at this point, sir, that whatever you might collect at the scene would obviously be important, correct?
Anything we collected that had evidentiary value or presented itself as somehow related to the crime or the incident would be collected.
And it would be important to the investigation, right? You treat it as important.
It is a point, yes.
So my question is, was, especially as it relates to the February 10th search, where there were multiple items found, did you seek to have CSSS come out and actually either mark with GPS coordinates or measure with cross coordinates exactly where each item of evidence was found?
We did not do that. We had collected so much evidence already, and so much has been documented at that point, that we did not contact crime scene services to come back out and photograph more shards of glass and plastic. We simply collected it for processing.
So the location of each one of those items was not of that great importance to you, at least at that time?
It was of great importance as to the fact that it was located in the vicinity where the victim was found and in the vicinity of other items located of the same characteristic, shape, size, and color.
So that's my question. Sergeant. What is vicinity?
In the area,
Okay, what does area mean?
it's a location, specific location.
Okay, are we talking about, if we do this all day, I guess, are we talking about an area of 5 feet or an area of 50 feet?
Based on where the items were recovered, we're talking about an area approximately of 30 square feet between the roadway into the grass. It's the
We saw photographs, Sergeant, of items that were butted up against a fire hydrant in one instance, correct? Is that yes?
That's correct. Yes,
A drinking straw that's out in the road, correct?
that's correct.
Another shard of glass that's in the grass,
That's
closer to
correct.
the flagpole, correct?
Correct.
A hat that's under the snow, adjacent to the left side of the flagpole, correct? I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was closer to the electrical box, wasn't it?
No, the pictures documented where the hat was. It was to the right of the flagpole.
So these shards of glass, the point I'm asking is, did you seek to use basic cross coordinates, measurements from something that you know is a known object? Like, for instance, I don't know, a flagpole or a fire hydrant. 27 inches to the north and a foot and a half to the south of those two known points. That would give you a cross coordinate, correct?
It would document the exact location, correct?
And you did not do that with any of these items, correct?
Oh.
The items that were not photographed were not
Interesting.
also
I did not know
GPS
this.
located, but they were within the same vicinity of where the other items were collected.
But again, now we're back to the same question. Your word for vicinity might be different than my word for vicinity, right?
Objection.
Sustain.
When you recover these items or any other items, it's obviously important to memorialize on the evidence bag or in some other way exactly where they're found, who found them, the date, time, etc. Correct?
We do the best we can to document all known information on each evidence item bagged at the time.
And in terms of the February 10th search, I want to just ask you a couple of quick questions about that evidence bag. Did you bag the items into a single evidence bag that you found that day, or do you recall?
I would have to see the bag. If you have those available, I'll take a look. I can answer
With
them.
the court's permission, exhibit, I think it's 310 that was entered into evidence yesterday. I'd like to display that for a second.
Okay.
You're looking at a photograph of what was previously entered into evidence as 310. Can you see that from where you're at? I don't have the evidence bag with me, so if you don't, I can certainly ask the space to enlarge it.
If you can enlarge it, please.
Just the portion on the right. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I didn't realize I've got a photograph of it.
Do you need the lights on, Sergeant?
Please.
There you go.
Thank you.
Should make it easier. Sergeant, have you been able to familiarize yourself with that evidence bag?
With the photograph, yes.
Okay, thank you. Taking a look at that evidence bag, it has the information on it, has your name is collected by, correct?
Correct.
The date of collection is February 10th, is that right?
That's what it says, yes.
Okay. And it indicates multiple pieces of red, black, and clear plastic, right? It actually says 6 pieces of red, black, and clear plastic, correct?
That's correct.
But that is not an evidence bag that was filled out by you.
I did not fill that bag out, no.
As a matter of fact, that's Trooper Proctor's handwriting.
I do not know what Trooper Proctor's handwriting is. I cannot confirm that that's his handwriting.
But it's not your handwriting.
It is not my handwriting, no.
So are you aware that this particular bag, that bag that contained those 6 items of plastic material that you already deemed was incredibly important to the investigation, was never booked into any evidence until March 14th, the date that it was submitted to the crime lab?
I was not aware of that, no.
We can take that down. If I may approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you ever draft a report yourself documenting the recovery of those 6 items and the other 14 items that you said that you found on the same date, February 10th?
I did not, no.
Did you leave that assuming that Trooper Proctor would document that?
Objection.
Sustained, ask it differently.
I'll ask it another way if I can. Did you believe that you didn't need to write a report, Sergeant, because Trooper Proctor would take care of that?
I knew that it would be documented. It was already documented on the actual bag as far as who collected it, when, where, what it was, and a report eventually would be authored on it.
But the where, for all these very...
He's dodging. He's dodging.
Where is left to 30...
Answer the question.
On back, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Is that right?
The general vicinity location of the other items collected and documented with photographs was consistent with the same locations this was collected.
I want to shift gears for just a second. Well, actually, I want to ask one final question about that item. Based on the documentation that you just mentioned, that it's documented on the bag, and if the bag is presented to the crime lab on on March 14th, some 5 weeks later, those items were completely unaccounted for from a log standpoint for the entire time from when they were collected until they were booked at the crime lab, correct?
Objection.
Sustained, ask it differently.
Possession of those items for those 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Are you talking about the items that were just displayed on the screen?
I am, sir.
I did not.
Now I'd like to shift gears to a ring video that you saw yesterday. It's in Exhibit 6, video number 153. That may mean nothing to you. It's the 5:07 a.m. video of Miss Reed's car pulling out of the One Meadows garage. Do you remember that video?
I do.
Okay. You indicated yesterday on questioning, under questioning by Mr. Lally, that Miss Reed's car came in contact with or close to coming in contact with the other vehicle, the Traverse, in the video. Is that right?
The video, as I watched the video, I observed the vehicle come near Mr. O'Keefe's car.
Okay, that's what I want to talk about. With the court's permission, may we play that video one more time?
Okay.
Jason, you can pull that up, and then I'm going to ask you to pause it and get out of the way. Okay. Okay. Can you just play that for a quick second, and then I'll ask you to pause it. Pause. Does that appear to be, I'm just pausing it in the first 2 or 3 seconds, does that appear to be the video that you saw yesterday?
It appears that way, yes.
Okay. Mr. Bates, if you could enlarge the area around the the left rear tire of the Traverse. I'm going to ask you, sir, if you'll pay close attention to what's been zoomed. And when the SUV gets close to it, I'm going to pause it and ask you another question. You can go ahead and play this.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this.
So why don't we pause the screen, take it down, and I'll see you at sidebar.
Sidebar. Sidebar time. Sidebar. Doing a sidebar. Doing a sidebar. Where's Chupacabra? I don't know. Chupacabra non-existent. It's a restaurant. Such a restaurant. Yeah, Anna, this is gonna ruin my car. May looked at that yesterday. Matrix says, question. Why wait for the snow to melt to find evidence? Because if you need to plant evidence, you need an excuse. If you're investigating a murder, are you gonna like grid search, uncover that entire lawn? Exactly, unless you're trying to cover it up. I don't care if you have to shovel it into a dump truck, clear the scene. That's exactly what I was thinking, Matrix. You took the words out of my mouth, straight up. Sidebar. DY Keta is slipping somewhere. I don't know where she is slipping. The objection was because Lally doesn't like what's about to happen. I don't know what it is yet exactly, but I can suspect it's something that doesn't help his case. So, yeah. Tripaprata. You like that? Sidebar. It's a sidebar.
I'm going to try to situate myself where I'm out of the way. If we can have the lights dim, Your Honor.
Sure.
Thank you. Go ahead and enlarge the rear area of the traverse. And I'm going to ask you to pay special attention to the back wheel and any movement that you may or may not see. Okay, pause it. Okay, in about the next 3 seconds, Sergeant, I'm going to ask you to pay special attention to the wheel. Go ahead. We can have the lights on. And you can take that down. Sergeant, were you able to see that video? I know it's not the clearest thing in the world. Were you able to see that video okay?
Yes, I
What did
did.
you notice about the rear wheel of the Traverse?
Based on the motion in the shot with the snow falling, it appears that there is movement, but the video speaks for itself.
What would you assess based on the movement of the rear wheel of the Traverse about whether or not the two vehicles came in contact with one another?
Objection.
Sustained.
Okay. I have just a moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
There's no way that Alan is almost done with him. There's no way that we're almost done with this cat. No way.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm trying to use my time wisely, Your Honor.
I like that.
Yesterday, Sergeant, you were asked about a couple of videos related to the Sallyport garage. Do you have that in mind?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, we watched one of them pretty specifically toward the end of the day yesterday. Did you actually, I want to talk about the one that is the clearer of the two, where you slip. You remember that one?
If you pull it up, I can.
I will in just a second.
Okay.
There was one where Mr. Lally paused it and you were slipping in front of the vehicle.
I don't recall myself slipping, no, but it was icy that day. So if there's documentation of me slipping, I might have happened.
Fair enough. I didn't mean anything by that other than that was a moment that I thought you might recall to differentiate the videos. It's exhibit 446, but I don't think that's going to help you. All right, let's see if I can do this another way. Did you actually personally go to Canton PD to retrieve any or all of the videos of the Sally Port? You yourself?
I did go to Canton and collect already extracted video,
Okay.
but it was a portion of video surveillance. I didn't collect all of the video, so
When was the most recent time that you went to Canton to collect a portion of the video?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Did you review well, let me ask it this way. Did you collect a video that was sought on or about April 23rd or 24th this year, meaning just a few weeks ago?
Did I collect it?
Correct.
I did not collect that video of April this year, no.
Or you're aware that the video that you saw yesterday was in fact collected after the trial started in April of 2024?
Objection.
Sustained.
Are you aware of when that video that we saw yesterday was collected?
Objection.
Oh,
I am not aware.
Okay. Was yesterday the first time you'd seen that video?
No,
When had you seen that video previously?
a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. What were the circumstances in which you saw that video?
Objection.
sustained.
Did you have a meeting with the DA?
Objection.
Sustained.
Jury heard it.
Did you ever have any kind of communication with Mr. Lally about your testimony?
Objection.
Sustained.
May we approach?
Yes.
What? You can't. What? Have you ever had any conversations with the prosecutor about this case? Objection. Is this a joke? I don't understand. What was that about? That makes no sense at all. Yeah, of course, we had a conversation. We talked about the case before my testimony. That is standard stuff. Why is there an objection? That's a standard question. He asked that of every other witness. Exactly, Angela. Why is this one suddenly different? Yeah, I bet the jury loves this too. Any trouble for passing the note to Paul? I'm wondering if the next witness is like a medical examiner that's going to talk about the body. Because that's logically next. If they're going to skip Trooper Proctor, as Karen Reed told her family yesterday, or mouthed to her family, I guess we should say, yesterday, that note may have been, somebody suggested, and I kind of like this idea.
Unmuted.
Maybe it's to get the family on notice that there's going to be like brutal photos of the autopsy on the
Yes.
Thank you. Sergeant, did you have any meetings or communications with
In
Mr. Lally
conversations.
in anticipation of your testimony?
Here we go.
Yes.
When was that?
It was about 2 weeks ago, and then last week, I believe.
And what was discussed? Generally.
Generally, we discussed the portions of the case that I would be presenting.
Did you write a report about your communications with Mr. Lally?
No, I did not.
Were you shown any of the videos that you've seen here in anticipation of your testimony?
Not during the first meeting. I did review a video during the second time.
Okay, and that video was, that you did see the second time was the interior video of the Sally Port that we saw yesterday, correct?
I'm just trying to remember exactly what video I saw. I had reviewed videos outside of our meeting, so I don't remember exactly what video Mr. Lally showed me.
But you do recall seeing the video that you saw yesterday, the sort of clear one that has the crime scene taping put up and all that. You have seen that one before,
Yes,
and that was with Mr. Lally, correct?
that is not correct because I do not recall when I saw that video or what video I saw with Mr. Lally.
I see. All right. I'd like to talk about that exhibit 446 for a second, and then I'll show it to you. You indicated that the video that you, all the videos, everything that you saw yesterday was true and accurate, correct? Based on your memory of the events that were memorialized in the video?
The video captures events taking place in an accurate fashion, yes.
In an accurate fashion. All right, that's what I wanted to find
Why
out.
is even like the simplest of answers so difficult for
And
this
after
man?
you watched the video, I think you were asked by Mr. Lally,
Jeez.
does the video show you or Trooper Proctor having access to or messing with in any way that right rear tail light in any fashion? And you said, never.
I was asked if at any point Trooper Proctor and I had came into contact, I believe, or touched the vehicle and that portion of the vehicle, and I said never. We never touched the vehicle prior to it being properly processed with a search warrant.
And that was specifically his question was to, and your answer was to the right rear portion of the vehicle, right? That right rear tail light.
The right rear damaged taillight, correct.
With the court's permission, I'd like
Put
to
the wife on and
play
do a duet.
a portion of
We might.
Exhibit 446.
Okay.
Do you think the Commonwealth will be charged with a Rule 702 missing witness charge if they don't call Proctor? No, unfortunately.
Before we begin playing it, Mr. Bates, if you wouldn't
I
mind,
wish.
may I inquire, Your Honor, of the witness, just to lay a foundation? Sergeant, do you recognize this as being the video that we saw yesterday?
It does look accurate.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. This is 446, just so you have it in mind if I reference that. Bates, if you could play that. And I think it's runtime 120. Pause it. Do you recognize that as the video we saw yesterday?
Yes, I do.
Very briefly, if you could move to time of day, 5:37:05. Yes. With the court's permission, can we play at this point?
Yes.
All right, that shows the vehicle coming into the Sally Port, and we're looking at which side of the vehicle?
So that is the driver's side of the vehicle. What that video depicts is a mirror collection. Although mirrors are accurate representation of what you're seeing, it's just inverted. So that is the driver's side of the vehicle. I do not know why it is inverted, but that's the way it was presented, collected and presented from Canton Police.
Can you see a timestamp or a time and date stamp?
Oh, he's gonna go for the timestamp.
I cannot know.
Does it appear?
Is he gonna talk about it?
If you can't read every letter on it, that is in correct order. In other words, that's not inverted.
I cannot read it, no.
All right, let's go ahead and play this for a second.
But no, I thought it jumped from like 534.
Who is that just got out of the car?
I do not know. I think that's the tow truck driver. He would have the only access to the vehicle. We did not touch the vehicle.
Who's that on the left?
I missed it. I was looking down at the laser pointer. I do not know. I know for a fact I'm the gentleman that's wearing a dark olive drab state police baseball style hat, and Trooper Mike Proctor is wearing a winter hat.
Trooper Proctor's wearing what?
A winter hat.
That was playing, and I didn't realize it was playing while you were talking. Stop. Look for that. And stop. Yesterday, when you testified, you indicated that the two individuals in this scene were you and Trooper Proctor, correct?
Not correct. There was two individuals in the rear of the vehicle. I shined my light to. That was me and Trooper Proctor.
Do you see Trooper Proctor toward the back of the rear of the vehicle there?
I can't tell because of where the head is. I just know that Trooper
for the
Proctor
love
is
of
wearing a black
Benji.
hat.
It's the person in that, in the video to the left, to the rear of the car is wearing a black hat, correct?
I can't tell.
Oh my God.
I don't want to be locked into a statement where later on you show me that it's somebody else magically. I can't testify to that.
There's no magic about this. It's your testimony. I'm just asking you what you see.
I don't see that. No.
Let's go ahead and play it this way. Do you see the person toward the back of the vehicle walking toward the opposite side of the SUV?
I do.
What area does he appear to be going to?
He appears to be going towards the rear passenger side of the vehicle, although it does not appear so because the video is inverted, a mirror image. That's where he's going.
And Sergeant Bukhenik, you testified for at least a half an hour about this video yesterday, correct?
I'm sorry, it was a long day. I don't know the timing of how long I testified.
You significantly testified about this video yesterday, did you not?
I testified about this video.
And you testified that it was true and accurate, correct?
Correct.
You testified that it was reflective of your observations of what was happening in that Sally Port that evening, correct?
I testified that this is a accurate scene and collection of video evidence from the Sally Port.
And as that truck sits in that Sally Port, just like this, it appears from all perspectives that what we're looking at is the passenger side of the car, and that right rear taillight is right there shining in our face, correct? From this perspective.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
From this perspective, from the perspective that the jurors are looking at,
Okay.
from all indications, that would appear to be the right side of the truck, the passenger side of the truck, and that taillight that you can see is the right rear taillight from this perspective, correct?
The way it presents itself, yes.
And yesterday, during the entirety of your questioning by Mr. Lau, not once did you mention that this video is actually completely inverted.
Oh!
Mr. Lau didn't ask you if it was inverted, correct?
That's correct.
And if I hadn't gotten up here and begun questioning you, that would be left uncorrected, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
But it's true.
The person with the
Oh,
winter
man.
cap appears to walk directly to what ultimately should be the right rear taillight of his car, correct?
That's the vicinity, yes. That's where he is. Yeah.
Sort of like this.
Oh my God.
I'd like you to pay attention to the right rear of this car. And I know we're completely backward, but it's the far corner of the car. Do you see a person's head there?
It appears as if someone's still there.
And that person is located at or near what portion of the car?
In real life or as it's depicted?
Is the person near in real life, near the right rear taillight of the car?
Yes.
Matter of fact, standing there hovering around it, correct?
We don't know the distance that they are in proximity to the actual vehicle. We just know that they're behind the vehicle. That
Looks like it's pretty close, doesn't it, Sergeant?
Objection.
Sustained.
I mean,
Is that
it's a
person
simple
in close
question.
Proximity to the right rear taillight?
as I said, I can't tell how far away he is from the vehicle.
His head's right there, sir. You can't tell that he's right next to the right rear taillight?
Objection.
Sustained.
I want you to pay attention to what that person does as soon as the other person comes out from behind that car. See if you see him move. Stop it. Do you see that person move?
I saw movement in the frame, yes.
Right when the other person is in eyesight of the person toward the right rear, correct?
I mean, the video speaks for itself.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Objection, Your Honor.
The objection sustained.
Oh,
No
whatever.
commenting,
Shut
Mr.
up,
Jackson. We've talked about that.
You be quiet,
I'm
Bev.
gonna
Sit
ask
down.
Mr. Bates to back it up because
This
there's
is good
one
stuff.
other issue I want you to pay attention to, if you can, right at this moment or right before this moment, and that is the timestamp. Please back it up. and make it
Ah, yes, the timestamp.
right about there. Don't play it yet. Instead of paying attention to the individuals, I'm going to ask you, can you see, may I approach the screen you're on?
Yes.
Can you see the timestamp at 5:37 and 37 seconds?
Zoom out, cameraman.
Can
There
see
you
that
go.
from where you're at?
I'll
No,
move
I cannot.
myself so you guys can see it.
Me neither. That's why I don't walk up to it. Let's play it for about 10 seconds.
There's 20 seconds missing.
Pause it. Did you see another person just appear toward the rear end of the car?
There was a fog of some sorts.
Fog?
It did appear as if a person was actually in. There was two people back there, and two people walked away, or one person walked away.
Timestamp jumped
20
to
seconds.
5:38:01. Correct?
I cannot see
Jackson,
the timestamp.
get him
sir.
up there. Let him look at it.
Did it appear that there was an anomaly? There was a portion of that video that was deleted.
Deleted.
What's missing? Not deleted, but just missing.
Objection.
Can you tell that? Does it appear that way to you, Sergeant?
No, Your Honor, I cannot tell what is
Oh my
happening with the video.
God. What a dummy. Just admit it. You'll make you look better.
If you take a close look at, there's a classic police car in that Sally Port, correct?
There's an antique vehicle there. Yes, yes.
If you take a close look at the trunk of that vehicle, see the word police?
Yes, I believe I can read that. Yes,
And it's backward, correct?
it is mirrored. Correct.
That's a good indication that this is an inverted video, right?
It appears that way. Yes.
And if we were to fast forward at 5:42, Not another 20 seconds. There you go. Can we just play it at this point? No. You take one pause it. Pause it. You see the Sallyport garage came down?
Yes,
You see a number on the garage?
I do.
Is that correct?
What is correct?
Does the number appear correct? Is that how you make it for?
No, the number's in the mirror image, yes.
I just wanted to make the point. Everything in this video is completely backward, correct?
It's not backwards, it's mirrored, reversed. You can look yourself in the mirror in the morning, you still see your own face. It's not backwards.
But my mirror image is not an accurate depiction of who I am. My
Check.
actual physical appearance is who I am, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
A mirror image, Sergeant, is not an accurate video of this, is it?
Objection.
It's a mirror image by definition.
Sustained. Ask
What?
it differently, Mr. Jackson.
Oh, for the love.
I don't
Oh,
know.
the
Strong
sirens. The sirens.
Um,
Here they come. They're coming
I
to
would
get
like to
you.
mark-
They're coming to get you, Yuri.
I have a, we can bring the lights up.
Let's wait.
I have a.
Look at Yannetti just
thumb drive
lovingly
that I'd
looking
like
at
to have
Alan.
marked with the court's permission.
Does Mr. Lally know what's on this thumb drive without you telling us?
I do not.
Okay.
We can approach and I can certainly bring it up.
We're trying to wrap up our morning. It's
Oh,
marked for
Well,
identification.
if you're trying to enter an exhibit, Judge, you can't just like rush things through. You need to let the lawyers do their
No.
freaking job.
We'll come to sideline.
There you
It's marked for
go. Good
for
girl. Come on, Auntie
identification.
Bev.
Mr.
Get your
Jackson.
freaking shit together. I swear to God, what kind of judge does this? Who does this? No. We need to keep moving things along, Mr. Jackson. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Mr. Jackson. Jackson. No. Are you serious, Auntie Bev? Alan Jackson is trying to do a job. He's giving you a USB port that has evidence that is relevant to the case. I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. No, we need to keep moving this case along. Fuck you! And tell us how you really feel, Larry. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. It makes me so mad. I cannot believe that a judge would ever rush a defense like that from doing their frickin' job. This is wild. This is so wild. Yeah, I feel a lot better. Thanks, Jeff. It's been I've been wanting to let it out for a very long time. I finally let it out. I feel a lot better. I'm sorry. She's very one-sided. How on earth do you tell a lawyer, like, I don't have time for you to do your job? I don't have time for you to do your job. I don't have time for you to do your job, Mr. Defense Lawyer. Speed it up so we can convict her real quick, please. That's literally what she's saying without saying it. Oh, God. Feels so much better. By the way, I found Lally's next witness. It's a very long sidebar. What is that emoji? It's like a cry, laughing, angry, maniacal. I've never seen that emoji before. Oh, folks, this is just crazy. This is just crazy. We only have about 15 minutes left. Chris Kestrel says, I believe Bev is afraid to let Reed win because it would call into question every criminal investigation candidate since 2022 she's presided over. No, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, look, there's a lot of things I have to say about Auntie Bev, but I will definitely say that one thing that she's definitely not, that we don't have any proof of at least, is like involved in other cases. Like, come on, folks, there's only so much you can do. You know, I'm not Robert Barnes to start, implying things about people that absolutely make no sense. Let's be real, okay? This channel is about realism. Like I said, I'm not a speculator like Robert Barnes. I stick to the facts usually. No, I'm kidding. I try to stick to the facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's evidence, there's clear evidence that this has been a cover up. But to call into question every single criminal case that Auntie Bev presided over, that's a stretch. I would not go that far. That's a little too much. Yes, she refused to recuse herself, but I mean, it's still not. No. She's also a civil judge, yes. By the way, I don't know if anyone sent me. Thank you, Taz. I'm trying not to. Hey, Zinni. Hey, stop. Taz says, "Don't be sorry, Larry. We're with you." I've been trying not to swear on my channel. If you've noticed, I've been making a very serious effort to behave. So swearing is now kind of like an anomaly for me, and for me to swear like that, I couldn't hold it in any longer. That's all. So I appreciate you guys understanding. But if you've noticed, I've been a good boy. I've been trying very, very hard to hold my tongue and bite my tongue and not use a lot of cursey words. Zinni, hey, come on. She's being a bad girl. Yeah, Jeremy helped me out with that. He's like, no more swearing. And it's good. It's good. It's good for my reputation. It's good for my.
You are unmuted.
Panic, we're gonna have you come back.
For my sanity, for my blood pressure.
Jurors, I know that you want to know when this case is going to end, and I don't mean that in any negative way. After speaking with the lawyers, I can safely say that you will get this case for your deliberations sometime the last week in June.
The last week of June. That makes sense.
We'll know better next week. We will not be in session next Tuesday. We will go full days, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week.
Nice. I'm gonna be there for a full day.
In session next Tuesday. All right. I have to give you those cautions again. Please do not discuss this case with anyone. Don't do any independent research or investigation. into this case. If you happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case, please disregard it and let us know. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.
Monday morning.
All rise for the jury, please, jurors.
You are muted.
Okay. Case is going to be submitted to the jury the last week of June per Auntie Beth. No court tomorrow and no court Tuesday. Full day Wednesday, Thursday, Friday
Thank
next
you.
week. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. That's awesome. Yes.
All right, so I received a motion from the Commonwealth this morning that I have not had an opportunity to read yet. It's on my desk. I'd like to go spend a few minutes looking at
Motion?
that and come back out at 12 o'clock on that.
A motion by Lally?
In order for us to argue it,
Yes. Do you need,
I don't get it.
okay,
We've been busy.
all right.
Could we do it on Monday?
I want to get as much evidence in as we can each day. We can do it at 8:30 Monday morning, I think. Madam Court Reporter, can we do it at 8:30? Yeah, Jim?
Sure.
Absolutely fine with us. Not that it matters.
Can we do it at 8:30 Monday morning?
If that's what the court wants, yes.
Yeah, we'll have a hearing on it at 8:30 Monday. Are you around tomorrow? Are you around tomorrow?
Oh, am I? Yes, absolutely.
Do you want to do it tomorrow morning?
If I had a preference, I would say Monday.
All right, we'll do Monday morning at 8:30.
I'm sorry. what was
Monday,
that?
Monday, 8:30.
Okay, great.
And if you want to put something in writing, just email it to us this weekend.
Will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you then.
So Lally filed
All
a
rise for the court,
motion.
please.
I wonder if I can get a copy of it somehow. I don't think it's public. Does Turtle Boy have a copy? Does anybody know? All right. Court is adjourned for today. Does anyone have a copy of that motion that Lally filed that is going to be heard? Well, I wonder what that motion is. Yeah, Yuri's going to be back on Monday. We're going to continue with Yuri Bukhenik. I'm trying to figure this out. Let me message a couple of people. I wonder if I can message a couple of people. Do you have a copy of Lally's latest motion, question mark? It might be something to do with Trooper Proctor, I wonder, because he would be naturally up next. It's got to be a Proctor issue. Damn, I really want to get my hands on it. If somebody can find it for me, I'm going to read it right here, right now. Sorry? Uh-huh. Okay. Also, we have a little surprise for you, Chandler and I. So don't go anywhere. Um, hmm. This is what is the official name for it? It's I think it's called Dedham District Court. It's the Dedham Courthouse, the Norfolk County Courthouse. Access court dockets. It's on the Massachusetts.gov. Maybe I can find it here. Access trial court dockets. Let's try this. Court department, district. No, I think it's going to be Superior Court. Norfolk County. Last name Reed. First name Karen. Search. Courts. Wait, what? No, that's not it. Maybe just district court. No, it's not district. It's got to be Superior. It's got to be Superior. Norfolk County. Why is Karen Reed not coming up? Yeah, it's Norfolk Superior. But why is it not coming up? Case type. No, case number. We know the case number. It's like 22 something. All cases, all statutes. This is all civil stuff, though. She's a defendant. This is civil stuff, I feel like. Who has the case number right offhand? Give me the case number. Thank you. 2282 CR 00117. Thank you. No records found. Hello, Jason. Let's. No. Nope. Well, we may not be able. It's not on the docket yet, somebody said, but Verizon cell phone records came in at 6:03, so I assume Lally's going to try and exclude them. Very possible. Oh, wait. Here we go. No, that's April 10th. That looks like April 10th. No, I think it's CR for circuit. I'm going to try CE, but I don't think that's right. Yeah, I don't think so. But if you search by name, Reed, Karen, all I get is wait a second. What if I search? I'm sorry. It was giving me a lawyer. What if I search for Alan Jackson? No. Because it was saying like Karen Reed as the attorney. Karen Reed Esquire. Yeah, this is a completely different case. Let's call Aiden. No, Spicazza is a different one. Spicazza, that's the other case, the protesters and everything. Let's call Aiden. No, but I can call him on Twitter. No, I have 00. I don't have 00. All right, he's not answering. Do you have a copy of the latest Commonwealth's motion, question mark? I am so excited that Thursday is going to be a full day. And I'm going to be there for a full day on Thursday. Let me message Kelly. Hey, do you have a copy of Lally's latest motion, question mark? Well, folks, I guess we're going to have to find it some other way. Adventurous Word says, I love how Jackson scrutinizes every second of that video. Absolutely, I agree. The defense doesn't even have a copy. Well, if her own lawyers don't have a copy yet, then I sure as hell am not going to get a copy. It must have been filed this morning or something. Rhonda Crown, thank you for being a member for 1 month. She says, Larry, just be you. We love you the way that you are. Oh, you're too sweet. Thank you so much. B-Rad says, is this case being tried in North Korea courts or the USA? Right? Tom CPU? Does Tom's CPU have it on his? No, no, he doesn't. He does not. Jackson just said Proctor will be called. When did he say that? Where? Wait, where? Oh, on Tom's CPU's stream?
Just so you guys know, we're front row. Beyond.
Is it on this stream?
It almost makes it all better.
Oh, I saw that video.
No, you'll see it though.
Okay.
You'll see it. I didn't. You too.
I lose money, not with these ones.
You're going in, but no one else. For preliminary. You can go see.
I'll be thinking.
Oh, here we go.
Get the good video, flip.
I'll be thinking. All right. Yeah, you too. Okay, thanks.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. That, I mean, that's a 6,000-pound SUV bumping into another 5,000-pound SUV. It's enough to crack it for sure. And it did crack. I mean, did you see the jurors' reaction today when they saw that wheel move? That's not a small thing.
But you don't claim it was shattered at that.
It absolutely was not. We know it wasn't shattered. We've got other video of her driving out at 5:07, and it was not shattered. It's cracked, but not shattered.
Is there an indication
Bye, guys.
Proctor is going to testify?
Yeah, Proctor's going to testify.
There it is.
I'm going to call him.
Good to know. All right.
Jackson confirms Proctor's going to testify.
How was your stream today? Good?
Yeah, it was great. Everyone did great. It was a great day. Yep. Make sure he's good.
Tonight?
Yeah, 8
8
o'clock.
o'clock.
Gotcha, bud.
Yeah.
Virtual, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You don't, not a big
Yeah.
deal.
I don't have AC yet, so
That's okay, cool.
still working on it.
Oh, Brian.
That's beautiful. That is perfect. Nice. Very, very nice. Okay. Well, since they don't even have a copy, it's probably not uploaded. So we'll do it some other day. And I appreciate all of your assistance. You guys, thank you so much for trying to help out as best as you can, getting us a copy. So no court tomorrow, no court Tuesday. There will be court Monday, but we are going to be in California. So like for us, court is going to start, we're going to be 3 hours behind, right? So court's going to start at like 5:30 in the morning for us because they start at 8:30. So it's going to be like 5:30 a.m. Oh, the surprise. Babe, are you ready? 1 second. Okay, all right. we're ready. I'm gonna get my girlfriend in here, and we'll do our little surprise. It's just a little song. It's just a little song that we've created. They can hear you, you know.
I know.
Hot mic.
There.
Yeah. Come on in.
Hi.
Hi, chat. Hi, Chandler.
Hi, everybody.
Lean in like this. Yeah, there you go. All right. So, on the count of 3, I guess we're just gonna do our little song.
I guess. Who's counting?
I'll count.
Okay.
All right. Ready? 1. 1, 2, 3. Dead ham, fighter of the live ham, champion of the pork. You're a master pepperoni and breakfast for everyone.
We can harmonize a little better, I think.
Well, I also have these in my ear, so that's not helping.
It's really cheesy. We were in Deadham, and I kind of randomly just burst into song because I was thinking I think we're both fans of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And for those of you who are not aware, on that show there's like a musical where one of the main characters, Charlie, is sings like it's like the day man versus night man musical.
Day man, fighter of the night man, champion of the sun. You're a master of karate and friendship for everyone.
Deadham. The whole thing is really cheesy.
It's
and
cheesy,
silly.
and we were literally like, wait a minute, day man, dead ham, and it just went from there.
So I'll find him like singing it just in the middle of for no reason, like putting dishes away or
It just randomly burst a dead ham. Like we burst into song randomly.
Larry's really theatrical. He's like a theater kid.
You think? You don't say. Oh my god! What gave you that idea?
I hope you all enjoyed that very much. I know that we had fun. Thank you for
Indulging us for an extra few minutes.
Thank you for inviting me onto your channel.
Wait, you think you're invited?
Should I leave? You like the shirt?
I love her. She's so good. Oh yeah, did you guys like the shirt? Sorry, girls, I'm gay. I mean, it is Pride Month, and people were calling me Pee Wee Herman yesterday, so he's on the thumbnail now. I got the little bow tie and everything. And this guy also has a bow tie.
I love the bow tie. Maybe you should wear a bow tie.
He's got a little.
I'm kidding. Are you kidding? Oh my god! Please don't. I think you own. You might own like one bow tie. I think.
I do, but that was for Derby.
For Derby, right?
Well, no, not Derby. It was for Sherby in 2018. I want to say 2018, like 2 years before the pandemic.
Yeah, no, don't wear a bow tie.
Yeah, no. I just have the one. I actually had to learn how to tie a bow tie because I had no idea how to tie one, and like I was afraid to touch it because like one screw up and I would have to have somebody like come in and fix it for me. So.
Oh, Carla asks, will we see you streaming next week, Chandler? Yes, I will be
Yes.
streaming. So while Larry is in the courtroom, I will be taking over the channel. I will be the DUI guy.
Here's the schedule. So a new video every day, tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. 6 p.m. religious, always, right? With respect to live streams, okay? Live streams is going to be a little bit different. So no court tomorrow, no live stream Saturday or Sunday this week, okay? So no live stream, just going to be a regular old video. Then on Monday, we are on California time. So whenever we wake up, I might stream it for a little bit, maybe from my phone or something. I don't know. I will not have my computer with me or my setup or anything. So yeah, it's gonna be a bummer because Monday is a full day. No court Tuesday, but Monday is a full day. But we're traveling, so there's nothing I can do about that. And then unless we leave early or something for whatever reason.
Right.
Yeah. But more than likely, there's a 99.99% chance that Monday we're going to be traveling. And so no court Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I'm traveling. So Wednesday, Chandler is going to be right here at this time, 9 a.m., streaming the trial Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week. And then Thursday, the 13th, I am going to be in Le Courtroom. In the courtroom.
And wait, did you say that it's going to be a full day?
It's going to be a full day.
That's
According to
fantastic.
Judge Bev, it's a full day.
That's excellent. I'm
Yeah.
really happy to hear that. So for those of you who missed the last time that I took over Larry's stream, I will be the DUI guy.
The DUI gal. I like.
Okay. I'll be the
Since
DUI
DUI
gal.
Babe was taken by an ex, and I promised her that I would never let anyone else take that moniker away from
DUI
her.
Babe isn't really my style. DUI gal.
But you are a babe.
Well,
What the fuck, bro?
I think DUI gal suits me.
I think DUI gal is perfect for
Yeah. What does chat think? Do you guys like that as a nickname?
because there will never be another one. So we can just, this is the last one that will ever be used.
I'm excited. I'm really, really excited to see Larry in court. I will miss him, but I will have all of you to keep me
No,
company.
she won't.
Will.
I'm way too annoying.
You make a fair point.
I make a good argument. The DUI mommy, DUI lady. No. DUI gal.
I appreciate the suggestions, but DUI gal is for
Yeah,
me, really.
DUI gal.
Yeah.
I think DUI gal is the best.
So we are all going to have a lot of fun together, and we'll be, doing Larry sightings. We'll be watching out for him. Hopefully, the camera in the court will pan over to you.
Yeah, I'll be sure to use my chapstick every time my camera is on me. Like, yes,
People
chat.
noticed that.
Are you watching me, chat? Like,
People were very intrigued. They were like, "Oh, I see Larry's putting on his chapstick."
I'll be sitting like this,
Does it mean
waiting
something?
for the camera to pan to me. Like, oh, there we go. I'm serious though. Like, I've been watching that camera and I'm just like, oh, it's on me. Oh, chapstick. So be on the lookout for that, chat. I'm a chapstick whore.
It's true. He has like 70 of them in the house. He keeps losing them.
I keep losing them, so I have like to keep replenishing
And then you don't take them out of your pants pockets, so they'll go in the dryer, and then they'll
the
get all
washer
melted,
and the dryer, and then they melt. That's what I keep telling you. You gotta keep checking my pockets.
I know.
Keep check.
I forget sometimes.
Most evil. It's fine. I don't care. It's 99 cents. Most evil. You're actually gonna bankrupt us from all the chapsticks that you destroyed.
Oh no.
Most evil one says, why didn't the defense ask if the cop was able to trace the taillight paths to the vehicle since all parts have manufacturer numbers? That's a good question. I don't know. They're hiding something clearly. The Shadow knows. Thank you for joining on as a member. And where are the socks? If John O'Keefe's in the house, dog hair, shoes off. Cat Mom says, yeah, where are the socks? Where are the socks?
Good question.
Chad has a question. How do you handle all of Larry's energy and humor?
I love it. It energizes me, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, really. Because I'm not really a morning person, and Larry is, and we'll, both wake up, and he'll be like bouncing off the walls, and he'll be singing, and I'm not awake, but like I am smiling. So yeah.
The last 5 months, like if you look at photos of Chandler 5 months ago, and you look at photos of Chandler today, it's like two completely different people.
That's true.
I've changed her for the worst. Like I'm poisoning her. I'm trying to like infect every part of her being with happiness, of course. And
You've done a tremendous job. Your face. Isn't he cute? Look at that. Look at this face. I love this face.
Okay, we need to stop. We're on camera. We're on camera. By the way, look, we are 6 subscribers short of 439,000.
Nice.
Holy
Fantastic.
crap! You guys are incredible.
I love it.
That's up to you guys.
Go and subscribe. For those of you in the chat right now who are not subscribed, what are you doing? Go and click that button. It's free.
It's
It's
free.
easy.
It's free. 6 more of you, and we're gonna hit 439, and then we're gonna sign off. How about that?
That sounds good to me.
I like that. Hello, Mr. DUI guy and Mrs. DUI gal. Wait. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. DUI guy.
Yeah.
I guess that works too. That's
Mrs. Larry Foreman is
It- the proper. Yeah, because you lose your first name and your last name.
you just become Mrs.
Mrs. Guy Guy.
Mhm.
You need to marry her. Stat.
Give him time. No rush.
Your eyes show love in them. Oh, wow. You're such a good liar. Wonder what's on the thumb drive? It was the videos. It was the videos that Lally was introducing. It was the same videos that that Lally played in the courtroom yesterday. And Chandler is a future lawyer.
That is
Chandler
correct.
is a future lawyer.
I am currently applying to law school, and I hope to get my JD in the next 3 years. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'm currently a paralegal.
Oh, how's the fundraiser coming? Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Oh, is this the
Over the Edge.
Over the Edge,
Look
right.
at how much they've raised already.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
$1,115. I'm going to include it in the description below. I forgot to do it for this one. Excuse me.
How far are you from your goal?
885, I guess.
Nice. More than halfway there. I love that.
Oops. There we go. All right, it's in the description below for those of you who want to donate to support a good cause. Real quick, again, Critically Loved, founded by Executive Director Tia Lin. She has a 23-year-old daughter who's diagnosed with a life-threatening internal bleeding at age 5. She figured out how to care for her. They help families practically with issues relating to school, insurance, medical bills, emotionally by meeting one-on-one with parents, with professional counseling, and by providing events where families can connect with one another, and spiritually in group settings in churches around the community and via Zoom. In 2023 alone, last year, they helped 1,559 families with children
That's
who have
incredible.
critical conditions and provided inclusion education to 2,300 students. So like a really, 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 really good cause. And they get to throw me off the edge of a building.
I mean, as long as you land safely.
There's a thing that they have. It's called Toss Your Boss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where people can actually like gather funds, and I think the minimum required is like 5,000 or something. I'm not obviously doing that because I'm voluntarily doing it, but you can as a company raise $5,000, and your boss has to go and do the over the edge. However, they can pay 500. The boss can pay $500 as a donation to opt out, which I think is a cop out, but I guess it makes sense. I mean, if you're terrified of heights and the company's making fun of you and trying to throw you over the edge, it's called Toss Your Boss. The boss can be like, look, I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to die if I do this. So here's $500, leave me alone.
There was probably one boss one time who was too scared, Probably they might have come up with that option.
This is the story of a boss who was afraid of heights and he fell. Everything has a song. Larry, look at the comment about the motion.
Comment about the motion.
On Twitter. I'm checking. It's not on the docket yet. I don't see. Was the comment on? Here. Motion. Here we go. Commonwealth's renewed motion for reciprocal discovery and motion to exclude defendant's expert. Oh, it's a motion to exclude an expert. Oh, it's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. That's standard stuff. I have a motion that I have to argue to exclude our expert witness in a jury trial next week.
So it's not as interesting.
Oh, no. It's standard stuff. Let me explain, chat. Oh, this is very easy. I can literally explain it to you right now. You ready?
I'm gonna go
Okay.
I'm gonna go get back to writing my personal statement. I will see you all when Larry's in court. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye. So yeah, no, that's very easy. The Commonwealth is simply making a motion to exclude Dr. Marie Russell and whatever she is introducing, whatever she's going to testify about. They're like, we don't like it. We don't like it. So please don't let them testify. That's it. That's going to be what the motion is about. I don't know why. I don't know the reason behind it. I guess time will tell, and we will figure it out. But thank you very much for that information, Selma McD. That really helps me a lot to narrow down what the issue is. So thank you for that. And once I actually get a copy of the motion, maybe I will make a separate video on it. Unlikely. It's not that interesting. Usually this stuff is piss boring. No offense. It really is. It really, really is. It's just, for whatever reason, they don't want them testifying, which they always do. They always do. The defense files it, and they always lose. And then the prosecution files it, and then they usually win. Surprise! No, said nobody ever. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things you have to deal with, unfortunately. But yeah, seeing no other questions, I guess closing time. Every new beginning is another new trooper proctor still. I know who I want to search my house. I know who I want to search my house. I know who I want to search my house. Corrupt cops. Oh, God help me. And Chandler. She's the one that really needs. She's gonna have to start going to therapy after she started dating me. That's pretty much guaranteed. She's just laughing in the background. My case manager position is still open because I forgot to give you the latest update on our friend Brandon. He freaking quit on me. So let me just give you the short story. And again, I don't want to throw him under the bus because he's a good kid. He's 24. He just needs to find himself, I guess. He vanished at 11:15 yesterday morning. We were looking for him for 4 hours. We couldn't find him. And we even went to his house and he wasn't there. He later said he was just driving around and he needed a moment. He said he left because he needed a moment. That moment lasted over 4 hours. That's not a moment in my book. That's why I kept leaving the stream yesterday. So after 4 hours, he came back. I told him to go home and I asked him to write a 10-page essay about how does he think this affected the company, what this did to me, what this did to him, what is on his mind. And I told him we'll remain in confidence. Just write the essay. I want to look at it. I want to read it. I will make my own judgment. You know, you're not fired, I said, yet. I didn't say that part, but I said, you're not fired. I just want you to write this essay. That was at like 4:30 p.m. or maybe 4 o'clock. And then I get a text message about 6 hours later. He's like, yeah, he told me a couple things that I'm not going to share because they're personal. And then he was like, I resign. And I was like, okay, bring your shit over and give me all the stuff. So my case manager position is back on the market. I have a new interview scheduled for Tuesday. And Brittany Odell wants to apply. Are you in Kentucky? Because this is in-house. You have to live in Louisville unless you want to commute from wherever you are. It's open. I got another person interested, but they live in Owensboro, and it's not remote, folks. It is not remote. There is 0% of the job that can be done remotely. Zero. I mean, it's not really zero, but for my purposes, it's zero. 100% of the job is on site. Okay, it's on site. 100% of the job is on site. There is no portion of it that you can do from as far as I care, that you can do remotely. Okay. Everything is on site. Where are you, Brittany? Just out of curiosity, what city do you live in currently that you're going to be commuting from? And first of all, you're not hired yet, just so you know. I'm still interviewing, or I should say, interviewing again. I wasted so much time on this kid. I showed him the ropes. I spent like 3 hours with him on Tuesday. He actually came recommended to me, and that makes it even more frustrating. You know, when you put all your efforts into a kid and he just flakes on you like that. After one day, though, after one day, I don't know. It's just disappointing. People are saying like it's Gen Zers. I don't know. I don't know if it's Gen Zers like in particular or specifically. You know, it's just I don't know. I don't know, folks. You be the judge. You be the judge. Court is back Monday morning. Darren Lee Davis. Court is going to be back on Monday morning. Court is done for today. So, good luck to Brittany. I'll be on the lookout for your resume. And get me a personal statement too while you're at it, if you don't mind. That would help me. That would help me select the best person. Yeah, but not the alarm system. The alarm system has been changed. Thanks in advance for the consent. You still haven't answered my question. Where would you be commuting from? Like what area? Because you said you'd be willing to relocate, which to me means you're coming from a different state. Oh, she did? Oh, so it must be okay. So that's not far, depending on where in Indiana. Thank you. I missed it. I know who I want to search my home. At 34 Fairview Road, Indiana. Sorry. All right, folks. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I love every single one of you. As always, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. And we will see you tonight at 6, as always. 6 p.m. Eastern every day. The next live I'm going to try and do on Monday. If not, the next live will be Wednesday with Chandler here. No court Friday, no court Tuesday. Bye, everybody.